Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all of the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk. Mostly drunk. It's always encouraged, but never mandatory.
No.
I am joined as always by my brother Bill and co-host. How are you doing, brother Bill?
Yo, I'm telling you what, let me tell y'all something. I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. Shout out to all of y'all. I'm doing really great. And this show gets drunker every single motherfucking time. I'll tell you, this show gets drunker. We, you know, if y'all are here just joining for the first time, welcome. Alex, what are we doing here today?
Oh, you know, we have a very exciting show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. We're going to be talking about For All Mankind. We're going to be talking about Rick and Morty season 7 finale, and as always, we're going to be talking shit.
Can I start that off real quick?
No, we'll start what off?
The shit talking.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it's mandatory.
Let me just say this, man. Thanks, Alex, for giving me a platform to talk bad shit. You know, first of all, I just want to say, let's introduce our homie.
Yeah, that's
Nite.
right. Absolutely.
From 9 Nerd Yards. There he is right there, ladies and gentlemen. I need that shot right there. I need that shot right there. We need to get that shot again.
The super zoom.
The super zoom and the wave. We need that on a new Hello, You Beautiful Nerds. Like, that's the new clip for your head.
Yeah, that's going to be the intro reviews for my next.
I met your face.
Hello, You Beautiful Nerds. That'll be great.
It's like, wait, is that Jedi Master Grace? Oh, you look completely different. Well, all black people do look the same, I guess.
That's right. No, I just wanted to start out with, you know, because we do get drunk. And, you know, it's like a thing now. Everybody gets drunk on their podcast, right? Like, that's kind of like a thing.
I guess.
I just get mad. I get mad though. But you know what? If everybody doesn't get drunk, everyone does drink on their podcast, right? I've been getting upset lately because I've been listening to podcasts and people just drink. They drink. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, just the glass.
The glass,
ice
right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
You didn't hear my throat. You didn't hear me swallowing. Yo, what's up with you people who are sound
ASMR?
Yo, dog, that shit's gross. I don't be wanting to watch, like,
want to know what the mouthfeel is.
Alcoholic ASMR.
That's gross when you hear that shit. Like, hear your throat swallowing and shit. Yo, y'all get it together out there, engineers and YouTubers. Like, yo, get it together. This shit's gross, B.
Shout outs to Morgan in the chat. We actually just did a drunk Christmas party episode that's going to be dropping on Christmas Day.
Right.
And Morgan was kind enough to join us and talk about Christmas movies and
you know what?
Obviously, do some shit.
Exactly. I realized Morgan did the weird Christmas party thing, like where you like somebody sends you some porno or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, we don't even need to talk about that.
It was in the chat.
But I was shocked. I was like, whoa.
Exactly. I was like, yo, private chat just got wild right now.
And HR has her work cut out for her.
It was because of a topic that we was talking about, and that's all that came up, and it wasn't supposed to be porno, but he was like, this is what comes up when you type this in. But you know what I'm saying? It's always that one guy. It's always that one guy. What up, Film Age? How's it going?
Shout out to Film Age Studios. We'll be ripping into you and your opinions later. Maybe even like, pause. What did you mean by that? Maybe even might have to have you like set up a link or maybe even get you on the show for your opinions.
Yeah, you know what? We might have to have you jump on, man. You know, and if you're down to jump on, we'll throw you a link. I think I can
you
on Twitter on something like that.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah. Family Age, we'd love to have you on. Before we get started with the show today, I just want to say real quick up top, a little house cleaning. We have the Poor Things video, drunk review that just dropped recently. So go check that out. And tomorrow we got the Killer Ending Explained drunk analysis video that's coming out tomorrow. So
yes,
check that out if you're a Fincher fan.
I did like that Poor Things video, by the way.
Okay.
I didn't see the movie yet.
Okay. Sorry,
but I thought you were. It's funny because I thought you were going to talk about like, because it seems like a Born Sexy Yesterday trope that they were laying down, but it seems like they were able to subvert that, and you kind of go over that into the in your review, which I appreciated because I was like, this looks like it might be some weird shit. I didn't see it yet, but I was like, yeah, but by the premise, I was like, oh, is Emma Watson like Born Sexy Yesterday?
Right. But you know, and I think that it's a dope video, a dope review, because all of the drunk reviews, for those who have never watched one, are always spoiler free for the most part. Like,
yeah,
we don't do spoilers here, just so y'all know.
No spoilers.
All drunk reviews are done by this gentleman right here, your baby brother's baby brother, Jedi Master Grayson. And he does all of those. He writes all of those. He edits all of those. So if you want to show some love, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to show your appreciation, just go over there and like it and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude right here puts in some work. It's all drunk reviews because we are the Black, Siskel, and Ebert. You dig? We're the Black, Siskel's, and Ebert.
Y'all gonna make a black man blush over here.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, y'all definitely check out the Poor Things review and check out the Killer review. And I'm also ranked all of the David Fincher movies in the Killer video that's coming out.
You were Roger Ebert for sure. Not because you're fat. You're not fat. Not because you're fat. But and not because my hairline. I'm talking about just because he was the one who did more. He was more prolific as a writer.
He was a better writer. I'll say that. They both had really great insights, but
they both work for the Chicago Sun-Times. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, both.
You might be better than me, but we play on the same team. So I'm like, yo, nigga, whatever you say, nigga, nigga. We both play on the same. Because you know what he just tried to do? He just tried to say he was a better writer than me. That's what he just tried to say. I was just saying he's not fat.
Does he write more?
He just has more flower.
Roger Ebert was definitely wrote more.
Yeah.
Siskel was just, you know, he was like, look, I'm a movie writer. Like, nigga, I'm not fixing to be out here just like working my ass off. Like, this is getting this op-ed once a month and then quit calling me. You know, I'm gonna do this show every Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be at the premiere.
Exactly. I'll be at the premiere. I'm smashing like 4 bitches. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the genius over here. I'm not the brainchild. That's it. That was him. He was the Wozniak.
Steve Jobs and Wozniak.
But moving right along to our first topic, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, episode 6, Terrifying Miracles.
Yeah.
Let's split it up into the 2 storylines and
split it up.
We might
thought you'd never ask.
Split it up.
And let's let's save the best for last and start with the bad storyline, aka the corny crew. In 2015, Duval.
Still the one.
In 2015, Duval breaks Shaw out of Monarch captivity, revealing that she joined Monarch after her sister died in the Janjira power plant disaster, but has also become disillusioned with it. Kate, Kentaro, and May find them waiting in Caroline's home.
I'm very upset about the name. First of all, Duval. I didn't know her name was Duval for a while, right?
They could give her a Frencher name.
Dog, that sucks, right? That's a terrible French name, right?
Yeah. I just think of Robert Duval.
I just think of fucking Duval County, fucking Jacksonville, Florida. That's the worst goddamn thing you can possibly think of. Yeah. I mean, sorry, shout out to Jacksonville. I mean,
no, they're probably like, you're right.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Sorry, Tron. Tron. I know you probably listen to Tron.
They agree with you, but they didn't need that tonight.
Yeah, they didn't. It was like, God damn, on the holidays. On the holidays.
Yeah, Jacksonville's catching strays.
I'm just saying, but like that could have been better though, right? Like,
yeah,
Duval, nigga.
Yeah,
Duval.
I would call her something like fromage or something. Oh, no, that's not
Omelette du fromage.
Omelette Duval fromage? No, that's not good.
No.
How do you guys
put it in the comments?
feel...
Can you come up with a better name than Duval?
Yeah, come up with
better
a really
French
good
name.
French name for
better.
For
come
Duval.
on, there's got to be something better out there.
If the best one, we're calling her that for the rest of the
Detroit.
That's right.
Whoa, what was that? Detroit?
Detroit, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like,
it's like the only French
Deval
word
to
I know. The only French word I know is toi.
No, I know that. That's
You don't know?
I can say no.
That's good. In this climate, in today's climate, you need that.
Yeah, you need
to be able to understand that and say it.
But how did you feel, Nine, about Duval? You know, kind of acting like a Fast and Furious villain, where she turns into a good guy.
Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Let me see what my notes say.
Fast and Furious villain is crazy.
Oh, I guess what got me, I wrote here, the bad lady is on their team now because she has faith in the crazy dude. But it was a very bad convincing speech, by the way, because this motherfucker was like, bro, I'm crazy. That's why you gotta trust me. That's how I know what's going on. I'm fucking crazy. I'm like, bro. And she's like, oh yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, let me team up with you. But I thought it was gonna be like a double cross or a triple cross. But
well,
at
maybe
the same time, I don't care about her.
Yeah, that's
honest, guys.
That's the problem.
I don't care about any of these people.
Man is like this. Man is like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna kill everybody.
I'm just saying, who cares?
Yeah, it's so strange the way they're like sort of having this exposition in drips. Obviously, Kurt Russell's character knows.
So I'm sorry, dog. A lot of our fans don't know what you just said. Because, a lot of our fans definitely know what exposition is in drips. But you said it so fast, I'm sure somebody missed it, like exposition in drips. They probably thought it was like... very,
they're a cultured bunch.
Yeah. There's people...
I steal all of my phrases from movies. I definitely heard that from a movie, and that's why I start saying it.
Well, no, definitely. No, I'm just saying, this is a nigga that I know right now that's watching. He going... exposition and drip. See, that's what they do when they get out to LA. They just be doing sex shit. They just get into sex shit and catch them STDs. They got them in drips.
Now that's sex position in drips. That's in Valley Village.
Oh yeah.
You can. Yeah.
You know what? We do need a real life. That was just a bit. We do bits here on this show, but we do really need a real life thing of our idioms, our isms rather. The fucking sex position.
The Drunk Banthas dictionary.
We do need a Drunk Banthas dictionary. We was gonna do the incorrect dictionary a long time ago.
Yeah.
Might as well do the Drunk Banthas dictionary.
Might as well. Guys, would you buy that? If not, I'm not doing it. But
it's gonna fall on me.
One of the problems, I think with this show is that obviously Shaw knows something. And I feel like throughout all 6 episodes, he keeps alluding to, I know a thing, and I've been telling Monarch for years.
But he's old, so he knows a lot of things that nobody knows.
Right.
Like, he's old. He knows almost everything he knows. Nobody else knows.
Right. And he's like, why don't
There's no time to talk.
Anybody?
There's no time to explain.
Yeah.
Right. Like, bro, you guys are fucking crossing the world. Like,
right.
Yes. I don't typically like the goddamn trope of, let's have all of our exposition on the plane and the car and, whatever, like Secret Invasion did, what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want, all of that.
You mean you don't like long conversations on the train?
See, but you guys are on the road quite a bit. You have time to explain a lot of stuff.
And it's like military type operations. And for anybody who has friends in the military or family that have been in the military, that's what they do. They talk. They have conversations. They debate things. They go over procedure.
To be very key to military success. Yeah.
They have this thing called a dossier. I ain't seen one goddamn dossier in goddamn Monarch.
Right.
Monarch don't operate dossiers. As a matter of fact, Duval, she keep asking for some goddamn files. And niggas is like, it's in the files. Well, can I get the files? She's like, they like, nah,
you can't do that.
nah, pretty girl.
But
that ain't how we do things down here, pretty girl. This America.
Now that we're on that topic, though, like, can you guys explain like what is the show about? Like, what are they trying to do?
I don't know.
Oh no. I know the answer to that question.
Okay, please enlighten us. Yeah.
So what they trying to do here? I don't know the answer. No, I'm joking. That's what you call it. Ooh, what they trying to do here is they're trying to locate Titans across the planet. That's the first time period. Like that's the other time. Right. That's the one that we care about.
Yeah, the 55 season. I mean,
right. They trying to find Titans, right, in that time period, right? To try to help them because they see them as any other species that they deserve to live. You know, they the first PETA because PETA didn't exist in the 50s and the 60s. Yeah. They didn't exist.
They just went really big with it. It's like, let's start with the biggest creatures known to
man. Fuck cheetahs. We going with goddamn
pandas Titans. Suck. Polar bears stupid.
Dumb. Like, what can I do with a polar bear anyway? Like, how cool is he if he can't beat a Godzilla? How cool is he?
How cool?
Right.
You get it? Cool because he's polar bear. Anyway, where's Noah when you need me? Where is Noah with my joke?
He's probably booing you right now.
So that's what they doing. And then in the I almost want to say present, but in like was it 2015? Yeah. In 2015, Kate and
lifetime ago, to be honest.
Right. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. Anyway, like 2015, old girl Kate and her brother and May. I can't pronounce old dude's name. That's why I just say her brother.
Yeah.
They get with Lee. And Lee, I believe Lee is trying to finish whatever work that they were doing in the past. He's trying to finish it. He knows what's going on and ain't telling nobody. Not because he ain't got time, but because he ain't got time for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't worried about y'all. Y'all goddamn go because what young folks like to do. You know what I'm saying? Because he old. He shouldn't be talking like this. Well, he talk like me right now. So he's like, yo, what y'all like to do, young people? Y'all like to fucking, when I give you some information, you want to ask questions. Like this is the goddamn New York Post. No, bitch. I just told you how to fucking go down. So I think that's the reason there is no, it feels like there's no connectivity so far. Because what we're missing is that one little slither of what I'm talking about, which is the information that Lee has.
You know, I think
which might be really intelligent for this story, because if you're gonna have both Russells, Russell Daddy and Russell Baby, then the only reason to have them is to you got to drag it out. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that you're onto something there because Lane, we'll get to it a little bit later in this episode. That it does feel like he obviously knows something, and he
did I get to something?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He obviously knows something, and he has this agenda for the Titans, and it's becoming more clear that that in the older storyline that there's a certain empathy for these Titans. They don't just want to blow them up, but I feel like it's just is getting exposed too slowly. But we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yes.
Traveling.
I'm sorry. Just I'm sick. So sinuses stuff. If you can hear me breathing, I apologize. If you hear me like if it sounds like a fat man is on the other end of this microphone, it's not Alex. It's me.
What were we going to say?
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay.
I'm apologizing to people because we have just an audio audience too, right, so I am apologizing for them.
That's fair.
Because I'm breathing. It sounds weird to me.
Right. But later, traveling together to the Algerian Sahara, the team finds Hiroshi, Kentaro, and Kate's daddy using a Titan lure. We'll get to that later. But he warns them to escape before fleeing. Finding them in Algeria, Tim and other Monarch agents are killed when Godzilla emerges and causes their helicopter to crash. Now, how did you guys feel about the discovery of Hiroshi? And are you as happy that I am that Tim is fucking dead? Nine, I'll let you go first.
Bro, okay, so because I knew exactly who was going to die when they were on that mission, because of like the one person that like was added on, or like or whatever. I was just like, you know what, this guy's about to get it. You know, as soon as this motherfucker was like waving his hands away, I was like, okay, I know exactly who's fucking going to get it. And on that note, when the young son was like, "Do you think he was waving us away?" Yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, you can tell by like even his body language, even if you're like looking at his back. Like, I know he was far away, but dude, he was like, fucking what? That wasn't like, hey, come over here. How you got? No, I was
right.
like, come on, dude.
Well, you know,
and no, also though he was the one who had the binoculars. Like, you know that he wasn't looking like, oh no,
like he didn't have the binoculars.
Was he not the one with the binoculars?
No, it was Russell with the.
Oh, it was just Russell and Kate. It was just Russell and Kate,
right? And then they were like, "Oh, it's our dad. Hey, dad," and he's just like, "Fucking get out of here!"
Yes. I don't know if you watched
disconnect where, like, you know, in Japan you do this when you want someone to come, and in America you do this when you want people to come. Maybe it's just like when you do this.
People like, I don't know. That was universal. Just like, get the fuck
yeah, like, no, that's what you. Everybody knows that this is what you do when the bathroom is blown up. Right. So like, this is the universal symbol for run. It's like run or help me. This is the only thing that this can mean. But both of them mean run. Either run to me or run away.
Right. Yeah, but no, like he wasn't running to them. He wasn't like, oh, I need to reunite.
Yeah, you know what? I will. I'm so glad that you brought that up because it is a good point to make that they just won't let go of the, oh, he's a bad dad trope now. Okay, the nigga fucking had two families. He was okay. Little known fact happens a lot in this world.
Yeah.
In the world, not just in the United States, not in California, goddamn every fucking where.
As Hiroshi is proven, he's globetrotting.
That nigga Hiroshi, look,
but he's also saving the world. So like,
Hiroshi knew where all the portals was that got to everywhere in the world. Nigga, he could have families.
Is Hiroshi the Rick Sanchez of this?
Hiroshi is the Rick Sanchez of this show, and he probably got 6-7 families, nigga. Like, really, let's just keep it real. If you knew where a portal was at any point in time, that's a problem for a nigga who just go get cigarettes every once in a while and never call back. Especially a nigga who was like in the 90s or something. What?
But then, like, later, Shaw and Duvall reveal their intent to follow and help Godzilla, but Kate, Kentaro, and May leave to find Hiroshi. On the way, May reveals that she had given their location away because of her desire to return to a prior life and the identity she left behind. Furious at May for this, Kate and Kentaro storm onward. Now, this, I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I felt it was a little superfluous because I mean,
like, who cares?
If superfluous means stupid, then I'm your Huckleberry.
It definitely means pointless because, like, May, like, she snitched to Duvall, but then Duvall ended up joining them. So why are you telling them this? Why does it matter to them? Nine, did you like find this to be as stupid as I did, or did you think that was just
because like that was the cliffhanger of the last episode. So you feel like it would have some type of ramifications or like effects to the overall plot as well as the characters, but it really didn't have anything to do with the fucking
It don't.
I was like, oh yeah, you told them that they were here, and look what, like that resolved itself. That instantly fucking resolved itself. Right. And I was just like, okay. And what was it? It just all felt like, oh yeah, I'm actually fucking rich. and I want to go home. So like I'm gonna fuck off now. And I could give you a bunch of fucking money, but I'm gonna leave. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
Seriously.
Yeah, but it just didn't make sense.
What
for
are we
one
doing
reason
here?
I'll tell you one reason it didn't make sense. We don't give a fuck about this bitch yet. Like,
Not
we
at
still
all.
don't give a fuck about this bitch. So maybe I would care about that if the show had explained this character more. Like, give me that information before Kate gets that information. That way I have a reason to be like, yeah, Kate, you goofy ass bitch. You need to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, jump on the train. Like, you see what she giving you out right now. Like, use the money. Use the money. Like, but I don't even know that the money really exists at this point. Like, she's just the stitch. Why do I feel like, oh, Kate should listen to her at this point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And
it's just
they all seem better than this.
It just makes me mad.
Seem better than this too.
Yeah, trust me. It's like watching Candy. This is like watching Candy Cane Lane. That's how I felt when I was watching Candy Cane Lane. I was like, this is like watching Monarch.
Yeah. Oh man, everybody there was just collecting a check. Nobody was doing anything in the movie.
Yeah. And the just tone, it still just feels like, I don't know. When I was first like getting into the show, I was like, oh, this is going to be a pretty gritty, interesting look at the genre. But it's just so goofy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's silly almost. And exactly what you said when you're talking about that Fast and Furious lady. I'm like, what is she really doing here? What is any of this? You know?
Yes.
What is any of it?
Yes.
And there is
and you know what? That's crazy. Not until he said the Fast and Furious lady did I not know he wasn't talking about Candy Cane Lane. You know what I'm saying? By the way, go watch Candy Cane Lane. This is not an advertisement for Candy Cane Lane.
It's not an endorsement.
But if they give me some money, then we can change all of that right now. If they give me some money,
it's a jolly good movie. Jeff Bezos was cooking with this movie.
I would tell you to watch it whether it was good or bad. My girlfriend, she liked it.
It's my favorite Eddie Murphy movie.
My girlfriend liked it, but not because she thought it was good. Because it was Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's definitely
I feel like some people don't like this show. I feel like some people don't like this show because it's good, but because it's Godzilla.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the Godzilla keeps you coming back for more, and there are some good stuff in there,
right?
And there's the interesting intrigue that one of the things we haven't really even talked about is that, because this does take place before like 3 other Godzilla movies, this is probably leading up to like Godzilla King of the Monsters, like where shit gets bananas, and maybe that's what Kurt Russell's secret is, but like fucking tell somebody. Like, it's especially the audience, so we can give a fuck about what happens next episode.
Right. But, at least like, do the thing where, you let us know that there's a bomb under the table.
Right. Exactly. Like,
and we're just like, there's some tension building up. But right now I'm like,
I
don't know what's going on, and I don't care about shit.
And Kurt Russell's like, wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. Like, what did he mean? He was like, I want to help Godzilla. I'm like, yeah.
I think
just a little
and
bit.
I think that's what we're gonna get like in the next episode, because I do feel like Lee Shaw has is it Lee Shaw Lee?
Is it it's Lee Shaw?
Okay. I was trying to keep you on your toes. You see, he good though. He good. He be looking down at the ground to make sure I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Like, he good. Yeah. But no, I think Lee Shaw is hiding a lot of shit, and we saw it in the in this episode where the I don't know what to call him, the Japanese gentleman, I don't know if he's a scientist or not, but he creates the telephone.
Oh,
right.
Godzilla telephone.
I was gonna say OB from Budget from Loki.
Yeah, baby OB. That's baby OB.
Like, isn't it like just like a derivative version of OB from Loki?
That's racist because OB is Chinese.
I know.
Nice segue.
No, I'm joking.
Nice segue. Because
we do segues.
We're gonna switch over to the good storyline now. In 1955, Shaw and Dr. Miura attend a defense industry ball where things almost get sexy, but
you're one of the good ones.
Oh my god!
I was like,
Heard that before.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you know, that kind of shit still bothers me when they put shit like that in movies and TV these days, in that depicted in that way. Like, yo, I'm gonna just let y'all know, anybody who was not white in that time period, if they was in America, they knew they was a nigga. That's just how it worked. Nobody would have been surprised by hearing she's one of the good ones. Nobody would have been surprised, like at least not one of the good ones. No,
I don't think that she was surprised because, like,
I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't have. I don't feel like it would have affected a person who was in that position that way, because they would have, to get to that position, they'd have already fought through all kinds of bullshit like that. That was some old little small time shit, like slap her in the face and call her something crazy. You know, slap her in the face and call somebody on her side of her name, because that's the only thing that's going to be something that would have been really shocking to that character who would have really been going through that period. That kind of shit is for people who, you know, don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Like, they need to be aware.
That's the modern day. That's the modern day shit. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And it's kind of the movie shit where, like, you know, where you see, like, you have to depict how she feels on her face. You know, she didn't say anything, obviously, but, you know, obviously, you know, if she lived in that time period, she probably would have held herself a little bit more reserved. But us as an audience, we have to know how she feels about, like,
but see, in my opinion, that takes away from her character, because her character is a boss. Like, her character, you know what I'm saying, is on her shit. She's extremely intelligent. She's extremely smart. So I don't feel like she would have been approaching it like that. She would have had a quip. She would have had something better to say, you know, or retort that would have led into, you know, to showing her intelligence and also showing her resolve in these types of racist, anxious situations. I think that gives the character more power, more strength, especially as a woman, who's a fucking doctor, who's a doctor of fucking biology, some shit. I don't know, goddamn seismography or some shit, chemistry. Yeah, she goddamn got all the doctorates and shit. She should be able to handle herself a little bit better than a country white boy from fucking Birmingham, Alabama, who's in even if he's a colonel in the fucking whatever. Like, I don't know.
I feel what you're saying. I did think that at least it did feel like the discussion wasn't wasted, and it felt like some type of meaningful character building. When they're talking about, like, the you know, the two, like, one American saying, the one Japanese saying, when you have a hammer, everything's a nail, and you know, the nail sticking.
I did love that.
I did like that. I was like, okay, that's a really good conjunction between these two types of personalities of them, these two characters working together.
Definitely.
And but at the same time, like, you're right though. Like, that shit is like, my parents literally got out the internment camps.
Exactly.
So, like, like, I'm used to this shit.
I will say that Dr. Mira is probably, like, still my MVP of the show. Like, she's one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite actresses.
I gotta grab a lighter.
Yeah, do your thing. You know, I'll just take this time to move on to the next. Randa, as Shaw and Dr. Mira are about to get some sexy time going on. Randa recalls them to Monarch headquarters, where they learn that Suzuki, a Japanese scientist, has captured an isotopic signatures with his Titan lure. What did you guys think of the budding romance between Dr. Mira and Shaw, and why do you think Monarch isn't using this lure in 2015? It seems like Hero is the only person who has access to this technology, or is, like, using it at least actively. Man, what do you think about all that?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what could they really want to do? It just seems so, like, trivial that we haven't had an answer to what's going to happen yet.
Yeah.
Or, like, I have a little bit of speculation, but the thing is that my speculation is just that it's so basic, right? Like, the military just wants to try to use Godzilla as, like, a super weapon or something like that. And or they want to kill it so it's not like a threat. Those seem like just the only two reasonable answers that the show is going to, and it's not dramatic enough, or it's not like interesting enough to like warrant it being a huge secret or like this
Right.
weird thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
it's for Monarch not to be actively pursuing these Titans. It's weird that like their motives seem secret and Shaw's motives seem secret. Nobody really knows. Like Monarch is just chasing these kids, and Shaw is trying to save Godzilla, I guess.
You made sound. You made sorry, you made him sound like R. Kelly chasing these kids. Monarch. You said you made Monarch sound like R. Kelly, which means they're clearly in the wrong.
They're clearly in the wrong.
Like if you find yourself in the position where you are mimicking anything that R. Kelly does,
the Pied Piper of these monsters.
And you know the Pied Piper of these monsters, Suzuki, he created this lure. Randa and Miura travel to meet Suzuki out in Japan, and Shaw reluctantly stays behind to present the budget to the military.
You got
He
it.
eventually abandons the meeting and joins them in Japan to. Oh shit! This is written terribly. Sorry. He joins them in Japan because of his feelings for Dr. Miura. Now, what did you guys feel about like?
Hold on. What was the last question? I missed that last question.
Oh, just why Hero is the only person who's using this lure technology in 2015? Why isn't Monarch using it if they're supposed to be hunting these?
Because Monarch doesn't believe anything that they said. Remember,
which seems
Russell
stupid to me because G-Day happened.
Yeah, like
Right.
would you?
I'm not disagreeing. I think that they believe the Titans exist. I just don't think that they believe any of the science that Bill Randa and Lee Shaw and Mrs. Randa were able to come up with. I just don't think that they believe that shit works. They look at them as a pseudoscience. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they used them as resources because they needed people who could be resources, and they couldn't kill them or lock them up. Right. It costs more to just, to try to keep them wasted away for the rest of their lives. And so my opinion, and my theory, you know what I'm saying? My theory is that I think that they, are just been ignoring Randa's files the entire time, as if. Now you can tell me you saw the movie with John Goodman,
right?
Did they trust a lot in his sciences? Were they treating him as if he was the end all be all to everything, or was they treating him just like another resource of Monarch?
Yeah, they definitely made it seem like I'm curious about the trajectory of Monarch, because when in King Kong Skull Island, John Goodman's character Anders, what's his name? Randa. Like Monarch is pretty much down to just like 2-3 fucking people, and they have no budget, and they're like begging senators for funding. So yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody really believes them, and they think it's all crackpot shit. Definitely back then, but now that there's been a whole fucking monster that tore ass through one of the major cities in America,
it's so silly.
Yeah,
toe ass.
It's so good.
It's really dumb. It's dumb.
It's very silly.
But you know what? That's what you get from a show that has not one, but 2 Columbo references. Also,
dude, I was just about to read that. Listen, because in my notes I wrote they were investigating and she called him Columbo, and then he actually does some Columbo type shit with the map pinholes. And I was like, what the fuck is this show doing right now?
Is it Columbo type shit though? Because Columbo's thing is like getting people to tell on themselves.
Yeah, it's a lot more better written in Columbo. Shout out to all my Columbo fans out there, because
you know what, Columbo has made a resurgence.
One more thing, I got one more question to ask you.
Nine, I got one more thing I would like to I don't mean to bother you. I got one more thing. You got those drapes there.
Yeah.
Covered in blood.
Yeah.
They're covered
You
in
said
blood.
that you went to the haberdashery last week, but I stopped by the haberdashery.
Yeah, my wife, she has me stop by the haberdashery 4 times a week. Like it's on my way home from where I park. You know, parking in Chicago is just crazy. It's crazy.
I would have loved it if Tim went full Columbo. Is like, you see these points on the wall here. Like,
Yeah,
he starts moving his head.
Right.
Clearly, latitudes and longitudes.
Columbo, because that's way more like Sherlock Holmes than it is Columbo.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
Columbo makes you tell on yourself. He don't like me putting puzzles together and shit.
Right.
What the fuck? This nigga
looking
at
listen
images
to your
on
words.
he's like watching the holes in the wall breathe and shit. And he's like,
I was like,
I'm on my
come
Columbo
man.
shit right
It'd be
now.
funny. It'd be funny if Tim says like Columbo and the other person was like, "You keep using that word. I don't think it means."
No. Like, but again, the show doesn't know what tone or genre it wants to fit in, so it makes more sense that
this might be the first show I've ever seen.
Columbo.
Yeah, this is the first show I've ever seen that's in the scale it is doing it on that doesn't know what it's doing, like doesn't know who it is.
Yeah, and especially really surprising for Apple TV Plus because it seems like they usually take a lot of time with their stuff, and
especially for this type of property too. Like they could have really went in on this, but this is so just silly.
I just saw the most recent movie with Alex.
Oh, you did? Minus one.
Well, he like.
Godzilla versus Kong.
That's the most recent one. No, that's not
the one. Most recent one from this universe. Yeah,
right from this universe.
From this universe. Okay.
Yeah, and
-1.
Like I'm just gonna say it had so many plot holes. I feel like this whole show has just been a filling of plot holes from that show.
Yeah,
but also kind of added more too, because it's like
they have to.
What the fuck are we doing here? Like
they honestly have to add more because there were so many plot holes, right, Alex? It was like the Godzilla versus Kong was.
I don't think they can add anything that will not like create another plot hole, right?
But it was a hollow Earth theory that just had so much like lack of understanding. Like, okay, well, if Rand is known about this. And because this other company steals the information, it's like if Randolph's known about this, then why did this not happen? And why did that not happen? And I think we have a lot more double crossing and triple crossing to come down the pipe that will lead us into a little bit more of an understanding of what the fuck is actually going on.
Yeah.
And I know Film Age, I know what Film Age is thinking right now. That's wishful thinking. See, there they go. They always.
But looks like we will have Film Age on later.
Oh shit!
So,
I sent the link to your Twitter, Film Age.
But
you'll probably get on when we actually. I don't know if he's seen For All Mankind.
Yeah. We'll after the next segment, we'll have you on. But we've been already been talking about this terrible show for too long. But before we get talking about Godzilla,
this show is not terrible.
Well, it's not terrible, but because
if it was, we would spend
pretty
more time on it. Is all I'm saying. If it was really terrible, we would spend so much more time on it.
Before we move on, we got to talk about the fact that Godzilla is still alive. Godzilla emerges and he destroys the Titan lure, returning to the United States. And after that, the Monarch crew, they return to the United States to inform Puckett of Godzilla's survival. And they learn that he has transferred Monarch's command in Shaw's absence. And we all talked about how Godzilla is probably still alive. But what did you guys think that was more predictable? The Godzilla is still alive, or the military did what the military does and just took over shit?
Well, we knew Godzilla was still alive because Godzilla is in the movie.
But we also theorized like maybe there's multiple Godzillas out there.
Right.
Ultimately, it's probably just still.
No, I'm just saying. So
that would be so lame if there was multiple Godzillas.
Exactly. So that's why I would go with the fact that
y'all don't want to see Godzuki.
It's not that the military did what the military does. It's actually the military did the opposite of what the military does because Lee did the opposite of what he should have done, right? He's the military man. He was supposed to stay for the budget meetings and all that shit, and he decided not to, even though he was the one who pointed out how important they were before everyone left.
Right.
So that was more surprising to me, but they needed that vehicle to show you how really in love he was with her.
Yeah.
Like he was not playing them games. He was trying to get that Pinoche. I don't know how you say it in Japanese.
But like who? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know how you say it in
Put it in the
Japanese,
comments
but I know
if
how
you
you
know how to say female genitalia in Japanese.
Please. And don't DM me because it makes it weird. Just put it in the comments right now.
But do you have any like theories of like where this is gonna go next?
Konnichiwa.
Like now that's the military is fully taken over Monarch. Do you think that these guys are gonna try to take control back, or do you think this is just like now these guys are fucked from here on out?
Well, the thing is that they're going to do some hijinks stuff because we know how easy it is to get away from the Monarch police, the military police. Like they don't, they're going to write a report and it's going to be like written in crayon for that dude. He's like, I need the report by the end of the day on my desk. And they're just going to write it in crayon and then he's going to be satisfied. And we're probably not going to see much of him for the rest of the show. I doubt that this is going to become a major conflict. Like really that they need to deal with. I did want to say though. I really liked Desert Godzilla though. I thought
Desert Godzilla, cool. Yeah, he got a different look.
I was like, ooh, it looks like a Komodo dragon. Just he's just out there on his rock, just warming up or whatever. But it also doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right. Well, yeah. How long has he been there? Has he just been there? Because he's a whole mountain range now. Like, has he been there for thousands of years?
Cover himself in a bunch of dirt,
right? Which to your lame comment about multiple Godzillas being lame, nigga, it could still be multiple Godzillas, nigga, because we have not gotten.
But that would be lame.
It'd be so lame. But like, how did Godzilla just be a fucking mountain range after like 24 years?
Yeah.
Nigga? Like,
is he time traveling?
He ain't even been 24 years. This is like goddamn a year, maybe at least.
Yeah. Since the G-Day,
Since G-Day, this nigga done got it in, and now he's a mountain range, my guy.
Guys, let us know in the comments if y'all want to see.
It looks like
Godzilla and Godzuki
go in that area too. Like, like civilization is just way over there.
This ain't just a place.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying? This ain't just a place.
Oh shit! Film age.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Hey.
The man with notoriously bad Wi-Fi connection. Here we go.
Oh man, he's froze up.
And you thought I was a joking.
he got stage fright and got froze up.
That's not fair. That's not fair that when you freeze up on the internet, people just get to just punch you in the face while you're frozen.
It feels
unfair. People just kick you in your forehead while you're frozen. Your
controller gets unconnected while you're playing Tekken.
Seriously. That's exactly how it is. That's exactly
how it is. Bro, what's up there? Come on, bro.
So disrespectful. Like, come on, goddammit. You see me fucking losing my goddamn controller.
Film age, first time, long time. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? No, nothing, man. Just filming, doing a costume test. This is for a project.
Oh shit!
So I'm sweating in it, but I just wanted to show it off because I love this robe. And
is that like Komodo, right? Komodo.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a very authentic kimono, and I love it.
Looks comfy as shit, bro. Thanks for.
Can you tell us about the project?
I can say a little bit. It's pretty much, if you do YouTube, you're gonna really dig it. It's shit. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, but
that was pretty good. You could stop right there. You nailed it, really, right there.
Right,
if you do YouTube, you're gonna love it. Okay. That fucks my world up. That fucked my world up right there, man. Yeah, I'm in it. I'm into it.
We appreciate you coming on.
Oh no, and just FYI, there's gonna be some drunk Bantha merch in the background as well.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
I'm putting some Easter eggs in there for everybody, so that's going to be.
Oh, damn.
There.
Okay.
Awesome. Hell yeah, man.
Thanks a lot, bud. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
no problem.
So
So
for everyone who's out there watching right now, Filmate Studios has been a friend of the show, worked on the show at least for 9 Nerd Yards. He helped me put together my Atlanta season 4 episode 8 video, and that is the group who sat by the door. He was seen on that, so he's a special guest.
That's right.
Special guest. Soak it in. Soak it in.
Soak it in.
Drink it down.
Yes,
It's
yes.
delicious.
That's right. Take a shot every time you see him on Drunk Banthas, baby.
Raise a glass.
I can't wait to get into the Rick and Morty discussion, but we do want to just so we don't lose our fan base, because nobody really cares about For All Mankind. We'll talk about For All Mankind really quick before we get into
First of all, that's not true. That's not true.
Actually, that's not true.
I feel like people
I
do.
shit on For All Mankind just because I feel like nobody.
No, this
watches
is
it,
why
but
we talk like that. We make jokers. We make jokers.
we make a joke.
We make jokers. We make jokers. Come with us on Drunk Banthas television. It's the Drunk Banthas podcast. We make jokers.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, y'all are the main reason why I gave that show another chance, because I gave up. They like 3 or 4 episodes in of season 1, and then I was like, nah, I'm done. Then I jumped on this season just out of the blue. The 180 from the beginning of where they started to where they are now, it's insane. And I'm like, oh God, why wasn't this in the beginning? Why wasn't that? You know, I guess people were all like up in arms about women and like, you know, space and all that. But
well, if you go back and watch those seasons, I'm so glad that you said that, man. First of all, thank you, and also, second of all, I think if you go back and watch the few seasons that came before, it's the way they set up everything in their lore has more to do with our hangups in reality and throughout history, more than it has to do with anything that's taking place in like America today, in society today, because it's the same writer, director, or maybe it's not the same director, but it's the same creator, writer from Battlestar Galactica. And you know, the way they like to do things is just use our societal hangups and geopolitics and put it in a mirror and face it towards us. And what they did in Battlestar Galactica is they made it intergalactical.
Yeah,
you know,
right? Yeah,
I think that.
But in this, they change our time up. So like it's like if this happened, then this would have happened, and then it's like the cascade of what could have happened time wise.
Yeah,
and so I think it's just they do such a good job of changing up what you think is going to happen or how you feel it might go.
Right.
So it definitely sucked us in. You know what I mean? For those reasons.
Yeah, and I also like your video covering the series. That was genius.
Much appreciated, man. Thanks
well done.
Much appreciated, man.
But okay, no, I didn't see this episode, but please, I'm all ears. So
let's go ahead and get into it. For All Mankind season 4, episode 6, Leningrad. The Mars 7 meetings in Russia get started. Margot is monitoring them and spots Alita among the attendees. Alita opens the conference by describing the costs and timeline for mining the asteroid as $2 trillion and decades of work.
Not some years.
Yeah, not just a couple years. This is going to take a long time. Like
right.
40,
so for
years.
Those of you who were on last episode, they found, or maybe you missed the last episode, Goldilocks asteroid was found in the Mars orbit. It's coming into the Mars orbit. And now everybody around the world's tested with capturing this fucking asteroid, which is basically what they did with the very first episode with a different asteroid.
Yeah, we already saw how that could go badly.
Exactly. This is not perfected at all. This is dangerous as fuck. And now they've got another opportunity with a different asteroid, but this one is bigger and it's going to require a lot of resources to get it down.
Yeah,
cutting out a lot of the nerdy shit is basically going to take about 40 years before anybody can even see a benefit from doing all of this work financially.
Yeah, estimated to cost about $2 trillion, but it's worth
which
is estimated to work. Oh, yeah, like kind of
in
2003. You're talking about 7 nations pulling their money together.
2003, if we could go back and tell them what $2 trillion, hey yo, $2 trillion really ain't shit, yo. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and get that up right now before we can go and get ahead of the inflation right now.
The asteroid is worth $20 trillion. And in backroom discussions involving the U.S., Helios, and Soviet Union, the team hints on the idea of bringing the asteroid to Earth instead of Mars. So it makes it a lot more cheaper of a project, and it'll only cost maybe 5 to 10 years rather than several decades.
And private companies can, bid on the asteroid as well. Because now it's only a day trip to the asteroid instead of it being. Now, wouldn't that be weird though for people on Earth? Like, nigga, it's gonna be like a fucking like almost moon-sized asteroid.
That seems dangerous
in our orbit that we're just gonna bring into our orbit. That's gonna fucking just hover somewhere around by the moon, nigga. That sounds insane. This sounds like a terrible idea. Actually, thinking about it right now.
God. Yeah, is this gonna be like? Is the season finale like they just like pull a fucking Deep Impact on Earth and just crash a $20 trillion asteroid into the planet?
Oh, we're done mining the asteroid, the Goldilocks asteroid. We're going to destroy it. It's going to be imploded into the Atlantic Ocean. Are you ready for this today, Alex?
That would be an awesome prequel to Battlestar, man. Right? Like they just destroy the Earth, and it's like, all right, we got to find another Earth now.
Right, and we got a pretty good population on Mars because that would be a pretty wild.
So we just destroy all these other niggas who can't afford to go to the goddamn. That's us, right? Us, man.
That would be very.
It would
wild.
Be an epic move. But what would be crazier is if that happens and then they end up floating off into space and then they find another planet and then they call it Galactica.
That would be dope.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Hey, look, for all my Battlestar Galactica fans out there, fans and friends.
And then Margot just turns to the camera and just winks.
It's just,
but I'm curious what you thought of this scene, because I've been expecting this the past couple of episodes. Margot proposes that she works with Alita directly because she's frustrated about being behind the scenes, and
you don't like Margot, do you?
I have love and hate relationships about Margot, but I really like her story this season.
Okay.
And Alita is initially happily overwhelmed at first, but her mood darkens as she hears Margot's story. Now, this reunion really reminded me of, spoilers for Invincible, but when Mark reunites with Nolan. When Mark reunites with Nolan, and you expect, because there's this huge betrayal, you expect him to be super pissed, but the first thing he wants to do is hug him, and that's initially what Alita did the first time she sees.
You
Margot
just be thinking about motherfucking gifts in your head, don't you? You be creating gifts in your mind, nigga. Be creating memes in his head.
Intellectually internet savvy. I'm just
No, I feel like that's a good comparison because I haven't seen the show, but now I understand what you mean.
Right, exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. This little nigga right here be motherfucking writing and shit. He be motherfucking writing.
But what did you think of the scene?
What did I think about the scene?
Their reunion, Alita and Margot getting back together.
No, look, I'm glad that you asked me this specifically first, because I like going first. I feel
you're the only one.
I know, right? I love this scene because one, I did not feel like Margot was a great actress at the first viewing of her. You know what I'm saying?
First seasons?
Yeah, the first season, when I saw her first season for the first episode or whatever, when I saw her, I didn't think, whoa, she's blowing me off the screen right now. Same for Alita.
Yeah.
I hated her character. Matter of fact, Film Age, let me tell you something. You see, when you get through the rest of the seasons and you're first introduced to Alita, you're gonna hate Alita. Just so you know, right off the bat, you're gonna hate her. If you ever go back and you watch any of y'all who go back, you're probably gonna be really frustrated with her because the actress herself just wasn't up there with the chops of everyone else. And I felt like she was going there for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every episode she was going for it. Yeah. She was trying hard.
She reminded me of Brad Pitt in Seven.
You on
a little bit much.
But
you on mute.
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Film Age. You're on mute.
My bad. Damn. That's I think I saw her. I think I know who you're referring to. And yeah, that's rough. She's giving the old college try, as they say. Yeah, that's some sci-fi channel stuff, you know.
Yes, she was definitely giving out some sci-fi channel vibes, but this season she has grown. Like, you know, and I do like the fact that they've kept the same actors, you know, and usually, you know, television shows, especially you when you go through a time jump, you usually get different actors because you're going to age up.
Right.
They didn't do that. They kept the same actresses.
That's what I think nobody talks about, and they should, is because it's like so many times people like substitute characters for like others, and then they switch the name or they keep the name, and you're just meant to be like, oh, it's just them but younger, and it's like, all right. But with this, it's just like the prosthetics, even though sometimes they can miss.
Right.
There's still a charm there that I think is not really there in any other show of that caliber. They'd rather just use, you know, other actors and stuff. So that's another thing that I really appreciate.
That's a good point. Because Margaret, like people on the internet have been dogging Ed Baldwin's makeup. I think it's especially with the fake beard. But Margot's old person makeup, I feel, has been solid. Like honestly, she's aged gracefully.
You know what I think it is? Why give him a beard?
Yeah.
Why give him a beard? It's the number one thing you can't create practically and make it look good.
Oh, wow. That is good. Did you come up with that? That needs to be on a shirt.
Yes. I think I came up with it, but it's also just mad research of us listening to people talk about doing makeup, and it's just hard. It's like the work. It's the number one thing when they need
a lace front beard wig.
I'll point it out. I'll put it like this for the people who don't know what we're talking about. I'll put it like this. I can be watching a television show or a movie and see a person that has a wig on and never know that it's a wig. Like really never even come to my brain like, oh, I know that dude. He bald. Like it will never even really come to my mind like, oh, that's a wig.
Yeah.
Because the wigs are that good, well done. Like they got fucking bald cap things that they put on dude's head and then shave it up into your head.
Even on Saturday Night Live, where people have to get changed in like 15 seconds, it still looks incredible.
Incredible. But that beard, that fake beard, fake mustache, fake beard, our eyes are just a little too good for that. Like the way we recognize faces and stuff, it's just a little hard to trick the human brain.
Yeah. Speaking of fake beards, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, but to your point, they were able to do Margot's because she ain't got no beard.
Right.
Like she looks great. She ain't got no beard.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about a pesky facial hair. But to your point, speaking of bad facial hair, let's talk about Ed a little bit. He is bored now that he's not the XO.
He's out here smoking a little bit of this right here.
Yeah, he's acting wild. Like he's like me on a Saturday afternoon.
He's acting like himself in like if he was on Earth. He's acting like he's on Earth. Like that's how he was acting on Earth, minus smoking weed.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. He was getting pretty ripped. And he goes to the black market bar. And he says that he already knew about like the black market and how that all that existed.
Ilya, you know how many black market bars I've seen my time.
Yeah, it seems like there's a criminal organization in every place he's ever worked. The way he describes it,
but he also acts like he's been on multiple planets. Nigga, you was on the moon, and you was on Mars.
Right.
Like there wasn't like a bunch of operations. Like, calm down, bro. His story was like, it was cool because it sounded cool. He said it cool. But in real life, you've been on two bases, nigga.
Well, maybe he's also talking about NASA, but but people were just like getting like it was the 60s NASA. People were just openly drinking.
No. Let's just go through the ways. He's been on the moon with what's his name? What was it?
Yeah, he was on the moon with Danielle.
And what's his name that passed away?
Stevens, Gordo.
Gordo. He was on the moon with Gordo, and then he was on the moon with Danny and Gordo, and then he was like, we could say maybe he was back and forth on the moon between them times. Then they went to Mars. He's been there ever since. He has not ever left.
Yeah, he hasn't left, which is really sad.
So we're talking. This nigga just was talking out of his ass, bro. He's just sitting there drunk because remember he was drinking his own moonshine that he made in his quarters. He's sitting there getting faded. We go through a montage. I don't think I've seen a get fucked up montage and an exercise montage in the same montage.
Yeah.
Until this time.
We got a little comment from Morgan.
He was also in the Korean War.
Yeah,
so maybe that's one of the things that he was referring to, as far as his illegal operations that he's seen on different ships.
And then speaking of the whole black market situation, Milos finds himself closed out of the black market because of his Mars rocks selling.
Yeah. Miles, for y'all who don't speak Russian, Miles Milos. Miles is Milos. Yeah.
So he gets help from the North Koreans to take it over, which I'm sure that's going to work out just perfectly.
Yeah, because he lied. I want you to make sure you let our people know that he lied to the North Koreans, which then made
our people know.
Which then let his people, because he lied to them by telling them the truth about the fact that he couldn't get dude's wife.
Yeah.
Lee. His name's Lee, right? His name's Lee. I'm not being racist.
Actually, I don't know what the Korean dude's name is. I forgot.
I think it's Lee.
All right. But what did you think of his like weird Goodfellas moment where he's just like, yeah, I got these boys with me and we about to take this shit over. Like he just straight up turns into Ray Liotta in the second act of Goodfellas.
Yeah, he was like, I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forget that you helped me. I can't do that.
Also, my whole life I wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if we ever see you in here again, we're gonna kill your family back on Earth. Goddamn, nigga, goddamn. This nigga went like all the way left, but we have not built him up to be that way yet. Which is why I believe this is very short-lived. He will die.
He's probably gonna die.
Because now, this is what's really hard to do on this show. This show always has big characters die. Multiple characters. Like,
that's true.
Like,
this cast looks very different than it did the first season.
And then 3 years ago, let me tell you something. This cast is just always different. So, and this nigga's brand new. And he is exuding characteristics that get you killed.
Yeah.
At least on this show.
He's making some get killed decisions.
Because everybody that we've seen that makes it further on this show, let me tell you something now, Alex. I don't know if you notice this. I want to know if you notice this because you're one of the only people I know that really watch this show. The characters who can progress, they're the ones who live. The ones who live bogged down and stuck in their ways, they always die. Yeah, hold on, get it going. Hold on, keep it going and turn it up. Cause see, what's his name? Andy Bell. He died because he couldn't accept gay people. Right. Then what's his name died? He was gay, but he was like wanting to be still corrupt. Right? He didn't want. Remember?
Which one? Which
nigga who was the mission control guy. He was the gay mission control guy. He was like trying to be secretly gay, and then he married old gay girl. But then he came out because he kept fucking up. But see, he couldn't do shit right, so he ended up falling out. He dead now too. Right. Look, the people who do not survive. And then what's her name? Catherine. The lady who died in the terrorist accident. What's his name's wife?
Molly. Catherine. Yeah,
Catherine. See, Catherine. She was cold-blooded though. The next generations can't have none of that in there. It's old energy. You dig what I'm saying?
I feel that. I mean, I will say that Ed does have the oldest energy of everyone.
But he progresses. He learns and he grows out of everyone else. He still grows. That's why he still is able to continue. Because I was thinking about it the other day. Like, why don't we keep getting him?
Right.
He sucks. But we love this motherfucker. Like, he sucks. He is a terrible person.
Yeah. He's pretty bad.
May I do my segment, which is the only way I can contribute to this show's conversation?
Absolutely. The memes.
It's Reddit memes. Ed's decision-making process. Spite, malice, revenge is checked. Is that his attitude? What do you guys? What explain this to me?
Yeah, I could see this. Yeah, because like it definitely at the end, just to talk about the end of this episode. Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ed, who's still a Helios manager, uses his knowledge of the pay changes to incite the Mars workers into calling for a strike. Right. Which he doesn't give a fuck about the
he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he does at all. I think he just sees this as an opportunity to screw over Danielle and just like everybody because he just got fired.
It doesn't.
I don't think he gives a fuck at all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It doesn't screw over Danielle. It screws over Helios because Danielle is just gonna have to do whatever Helios tells them to do. Like
she's in charge of everything, so it's definitely gonna fuck her up.
She is in charge, but she's not in charge of anyone's paycheck. That's what I'm trying to say. He's really just fucking over Helios. So I don't know if he's really doing it just to fuck over Danielle because it's not really gonna affect her.
Well, it's gonna honestly because this timeline where they have to wrangle Goldilocks and everything. It's gonna fuck up everything if everybody decides they're not gonna work.
Well, no. See, this is why that's not gonna fuck up anything because they don't need them necessarily. It's not their situation is gonna concern them with as far as getting things done. That's gonna slow them up in the process of drilling the mechanism, but we realize at the end that they're not even going to drill it there no more. So look, that's already off the table. They don't even realize that. That's why I love this show. It's like shit going on that other people don't know, and you making decisions on Mars and don't even realize on right. Earth. Guess what? We just decided we're not even doing that no more. So y'all finna go on strike for some shit that.
Well, he actually even does mention that when he's bringing it up, because like now that they're taking it to Mars, everybody's bonuses are going to be cut down and y'all aren't going to be making as much money as y'all thought.
So I just think he's doing it to fuck over Helios in general because Danny ain't going to be able to do nothing anyway. There's no longer a mission to bring the asteroid into the orbit and drill in from there.
Right.
So I just think he's just in a situation where he grows.
Yeah.
He fucking gets something fucked up happen to him. This motherfucking crazy ass white boy has some fucked up shit happen to him every fucking time, every season. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just be cool with whatever the fuck's going on. Because you know what? I like everybody.
Yeah, he's definitely checking the revenge box. I probably should check the boredom box too, especially from that.
That's opening, what I think.
That opening.
I think this one is boredom and profit because he kept asking Ilya, "How much do you make? You must run about like 10 or." He's like, you probably get about 10 grand. What is it like? He talking about money. I think it's less spite than it is anything else. Greed and boredom.
Yeah.
Don't be part of the problem.
see the whole problem.
That's on. Yeah, that is on his badge, like right here.
Yeah, he got that sewn on. Yeah. Oh man, that's a good. That's a good.
Can somebody send me that?
He's causing some.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Reddit. They already banned us from posting things on Reddit, like because they said I spammed. I posted one thing.
Yeah, what is spam? Can you spam yourself?
Can you spam a fucking chat group about a fucking topic when you post a video about the topic?
Hold on. You're saying that For All Mankind subreddit banned you?
No, some other ones.
Reddit itself.
All right, yeah.
I think it was Reddit. Every time I try to post something in any fucking subreddit now, it says that I've been banned from.
Do you have like the drunk Banthas official Reddit account?
Yeah, I do.
And they banned that.
Yep.
Oh, they
damn.
cooked you. They cooked you.
I was like, God damn. There's some haters out there, or you know. No, you know what? There's just some haters out there, man. It was not necessary.
Yeah.
The world if NASA fired Ed in the first season. Yeah, we'd be damn near in Star Trek Federation level if Ed wasn't running shit.
Yeah. Also Gordo.
Yeah.
Because Gordo was a big part of the problem too.
Man, that just made me miss Tracy Stevens.
Yeah, let's bring back Tracy. Where are my Tracy memes?
Oh yes, the good fellas, the North Korean good fellas.
So, hey,
they out here trying to wreck shit.
He said, "I will sort this out. Don't you worry about it."
Yeah. Yeah, he just I'll handle this.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about. See, old buddy right here, he couldn't live because he couldn't accept gay people. He had to die
way back in season 1. What did he say? Cannibalism.
Cannibalism.
Man, somebody's really hoping that we're going to get to cannibalism. We haven't gotten there yet, but Danielle, after demoting Ed, you're just doing this to spite me.
No, yes, Ed is definitely fucking Archer.
Archer, yeah.
Sterling Archer. I am also a recovering Sterling Archer. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be Sterling Archer.
A recovering Sterling Archer.
But I found the error in my ways. And luckily, there was no, Instagram.
Mars is definitely in the danger zone. Eddie's jumping from crew manager to labor organizer to the millisecond he gets into demotion. Parkour! Yeah, he's like, oh, this is my job now. Let me do this. And ruin everything.
Are there any Miles? Any ones about Miles? Because that's the most shocking thing about this episode to me is Miles jumping off the fucking porch and being like, hey, yo, you gotta pay dues to come over here now.
Yeah. Miles is deep.
I grew up in this thing, and
Miles is like, what you got on my 40, homie?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, he got niggas all of a sudden. Like, where'd you get niggas from? You got goons, my guy. That's a fucking huge jump. But we already seen he got bread, but like he was just sitting there all menacing, like you said, Ray Liotta style.
Yeah.
Like he was looking at the fucking bar, like looking at the wall. He's staring at the wall, waiting on the door to open. That's some hard shit. You mad?
I've been sitting here for 3 hours for you to show up.
Exactly. You know a nigga is mad if he's sitting there staring at a fucking wall, not aware of what time you possibly could be showing up, but he's waiting on you.
Yeah.
Nigga. Like that is gonna be a terrible conversation. But yeah, man, that's the one thing I'm most concerned about. So if you really love us, if you're having fun so far, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching from Nerds at Night or Drunk Banthas channel or the Discord, go to all of those and like and subscribe and and fuck with us, man. We appreciate every single one of y'all.
And if you're listening to
one of you are watching on fucking Twitch right now, and I don't know who is the one that consistently watches on Twitch. Say something. Let me know. Say hi.
Yeah, please.
There's always one person on Twitch.
Always.
Yeah.
But you know what? We appreciate you. Even if you just don't want to fuck with us and you just don't ever want to say anything, we keep putting it up just so you know. It's just you. That's the
fuck
only
that, I'm
one
gonna
that
find
will-
you. I have a very particular set of skills.
you're the only one. You're the only one watching on that, and that's the reason that we're on there. So that's the reason we asked for you to say something.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
if
I
you
know
are,
is that there's one person.
and if you're
That's
listening
all
to this on a podcast app, go on to the YouTube channel so you can get some of these sweet memes in your face.
I'm wearing a hat and it's cute.
Are there any other?
And it's not a drunk Banthas hat today.
Are there any other For All Mankind memes before we move on? To
I pulled up all the most relevant ones.
Cool.
It's kind of fucked up that I pick what the relevant ones are since I haven't watched the show. I don't know why
It's really
this has been my segment, but this is how
it has been an amazing segment. It's been an amazing segment because we really definitely have not planned any of that shit.
Yeah.
And it's always dead on right with what we either haven't gotten to or elaborating on what we've already talked about.
It's perfect. It's the perfect little cherry on top of
Thank
the
you, Reddit, even though you keep fucking me over. God damn.
But now,
and hey, YouTube, when I say fuck you over and goddamn, I mean it in the nicest ways. Please, all ads could be used for stuff like this. Like, check this out. Like Espolon. We like Espolon, so they could give us some money.
Tequila.
People like us.
people like us.
People like
We're
us.
Cool.
We're cool, man.
Moving on to our last subject of the night. We got to end with an ending. Rick and Morty season 7 finale. Fear No Mort. You guys have any initial thoughts on this episode? Film Age, I'll let you go first since you've been so kind.
I feel like it's gonna be us versus Film Age here.
No, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn.
I have a lot of thoughts, but yeah, Film Age.
So this my perspective going into this season, I was given like I like as soon as it started, I was writing, editing, doing all this stuff. So like that 30 minutes was always something that I was like, all right, I know I have that, and it's just like, and I'm giving it to him, Adult Swim said Justin Roiland didn't really contribute, that the whole creative force, even though he does the voice of the main characters and so many more, but he didn't really contribute. Anyway,
I think that was bullshit.
Yeah. All the creativeness came from the team, and this season was already written. So I'm like, fair enough. Let me go into the season with that in mind. And it felt like with this episode, it was like the cherry on top of everything that I was worried about. The opening when they get to the hole, when you see the hole, that whole section was tense because the hole was done in what felt like a different animation style. And it felt like they were going to go to a completely new place. And I was excited. And there was a commercial. And I was like, for the first time this entire season, it was like, all right, this is Rick and Morty, man. This is what I want. And then the episode where they're in the tank and their negativity gets filtered out and all that. It's just this whole scene right here was just so good. But it just kept on.
Didn't hit
going.
you feel like it didn't hit you?
Didn't hit
at any points?
At no point.
Quick note. I do love how this looks like the weird dark force hole from The Last Jedi that Rey jumps into. It looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Is that not what it is?
I'm surprised they didn't mention it.
I thought it was the ring.
Okay.
That's what I first
VHS
thought.
tape there.
I got very well. Maybe it's because I have a visceral hate for The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
But maybe that's what it is. Because that's what that reminds me of.
I just thought it was like Japanese horror is what popped into my head. And I was like,
okay. I get that. Yeah.
But I didn't spot The Last Jedi.
Judges say that all answers are correct.
Yeah, I didn't.
I think that all answers are correct.
Yeah,
I mean, because this show is always about like mixing a whole bunch of different sci-fi tropes.
Right.
But But 9, what were your initial thoughts on this episode? Just like the concept.
I thought it was so good. to be honest. Like I was watching it and I was like, okay, what are we really doing in this episode? And I thought it was like a very interesting exploration of like put yourself in that like thought experiment of like traveling down to conquer your fears, and by the time that you get out of it,
open your mind.
Open your mind. Yeah, like seriously though, open your mind and put yourself into the little like into that little hole and try to like see it through those characters' perspectives. And then I felt like I was like, okay, I'm here with it. This thing is kind of it's troubling. I felt like worried while I was watching it, even though it still got silly at the end. But yeah, this is what I meant by the ring references here. Bang bang, they got the VHS player there.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah,
and like I thought like they're literally about to like try to go through the hole, but actually get like sucked into the TV or something.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. Bill, what were your initial thoughts on this episode?
I really like the episode as a whole.
No wordplay, Bill.
No bits.
No bits.
No wordplay.
We don't do bits. Phrasing. I really like this episode, but unfortunately, I do feel like it's not a great last episode.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about that. Film Age has some thoughts. He hit us up on Twitter, which let me tell you something. It must be magic. It was meant to be for me to see those tweets. I am never on Twitter. I never check Twitter, and I'm checking it all the time now. So for all those who are watching, hit me up on Twitter. Drunk Banthas. Everything is Drunk Banthas. So I'm on Twitter. I'm like, look, let me just go over here and post this Poor Things video that Alex just did as a drunk review for Poor Things, the new movie that just came out that's really weird and hilarious. I was like, shit, I'm going to post this. And then I see, look, we have a notification. Well, I bet you it's going to try to tell me that some big titty lady just said something crazy. Like, that's all. It's the notifications. I don't know anybody. And then boom, we got a mention from Film Age. And I was like, what? Yeah. And I see all this commentary about how bad the series has been so far this season.
Yeah, I had a very bad like set day there. And I had and like while I was just trying to get myself out of a writer's block, I was like, if I rant about this, then I want to get other names out there in case it gets any traction, so that if any eyes are on this, they'll go to like you or Nine. So I'm like, let me just go off the dome and just and I realized that was probably bad because there's a lot of things that are messed up throughout that entire thread. I was just so nervous.
A perfect Twitter. First of all, that is how Twitter used to be.
Do you mind if
I feel like Twitter is no longer?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like Twitter is no longer used like that. Like Twitter used to be like that all the time. Like somebody get their threads, like get them out. No spell corrections, no fucking edits. Just get this like rage
Stream
out.
Consciousness, yeah.
But also well put together fucking photos and videos and GIFs to fucking match my commentary and my anger and also sarcasm. These things are what you need. Look, this is a fucking like 101 on how to get a Twitter rage tweet out. And I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter, goddammit. I'm not calling it fucking X. Whatever. What?
Like it's a fucking drink from 1997. Like,
I don't even call none of my exes X. I just say that bitch that I was fucking. Remember that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna call none of my exes X. That's stupid. It's just a wild shit to say. Like it's just wild.
Most uncreative.
So we're just not going to do that. And it's also very hard to find on my phone when I'm scrolling through my phone to find out where it is. I'm trying to look for a goddamn X.
I always look for fucking Twitter. And then they changed it, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I can't." Like,
it's bugging me out. Been easier to just shit the company. I don't know, man.
All right, well, first, I was gonna actually like put his tweets
sorry,
up.
I got mad. I'm sorry,
but Bill,
I just got so mad.
He's already dead. I
just got so mad.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Right.
I need to smoke another
check
blunt.
Bill out on the Gotham Gazette when it comes back next year. But I wanted to put Film Age's tweets up here, but I think first it will be more poignant if we go through the episode actually.
Right.
Yes, actually,
just like
discuss that.
Yes.
A quick little setup. Rick and Morty find that after all of their experiences, they find that there is nothing that can scare or surprise them anymore. They are then approached by a man in a suit who offers them a truly terrifying experience, bringing them to a quote-unquote fear hole located in the scariest place on Earth, a Denny's bathroom. Morty decides to leap in to face his fears, only for Rick to jump in after him to rescue him from monsters. I thought this was like a really interesting setup because like it's like it has all those silly kind of tropes that Rick and Morty always bring up. I like that they brought back Denny's, and it's a very real thing that like if these guys wanted to go to like a haunted house or something like that, they're not going to be affected because they've saved the universe 10 times over.
Right.
They're not going to be easily scared. But how did you feel about that whole setup?
See, I felt like it was like you said, it's been mentioned before that these guys. Well, I don't know if you just said you mentioned. I don't really listen to you when you talk.
That's fair. I don't even.
Jesus Christ.
But no, I feel like they've mentioned it a few times subtly in this series. Yo, Morty does not give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It has to get to a level for Morty to even be able to digest the danger is on foot. Like. He said they had to call Homeland Security when they did some kind of psych test on him at school. And a school psych test is like, do they beat you at home? Like,
they didn't call CPS, they called fucking Homeland Security.
Dog. Like, that's wild. That's wild. So like we've established that earlier in the season that this is kind of how the temperature is. We wouldn't be shocked if someone said Rick doesn't feel fear. But turns out this whole thing is about Morty. We get a solid Morty episode with Rick involved. Like,
it's a Morty episode disguised as a Rick episode.
Yeah, right? And did we even get a Jerry episode this year?
We did not. We got a fake out Jerry episode where like that,
right?
Where
he died a whole bunch of
times. Yeah,
man, it's crazy.
I guess Chris Parnell was busy. But Rick is tempted to jump in himself after hearing about Diane, but ultimately decides against. Oh no, wait, no, that's at the very end. But yeah, like let's talk about Diane, the whole Diane of it all.
The whole Diane of it all.
How did you feel about?
That's the name of the episode, right?
The whole Diane of it all. But no, Phil Mage, how did you feel about just like the fact that we brought back Diane in this fear hole storyline? Was there any point in the episode where you thought maybe they aren't in the hole anymore and this is like real life?
So that part was interesting to me because up until that moment, the setup, as you said, I loved with the whole Fear Carnival. It was a callback to the Hellraiser episode. And the devil being the Rod Serling stand-in for the Twilight Zone. It's just like, I'm like, okay, they're hitting us with all these like familiar stuff. So we get all of them in. They go to Denny's. It should have been Shoney's, but they went Denny's, you know, and then
right,
and then we get the box, and I'm like, okay, this is all the stuff that we know and we're familiar with. They jump in the box, and then when that moment happened, it didn't. It was like I'm like, okay, what is this? This is the wild card that I was not expecting, because I don't know who Diane is. Nobody really knows who she is.
No one does.
So,
Yeah, right.
So
well, that was like the first look, and then, well, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So like that first instance was just like a moment, just a short moment of shock, and then like it was when they went to the garage where it was like, oh, okay. It was just one line. It was just the one line that Rick said of like the whole, or this could be a thing where you can't get over the fact that I can't, whatever. He pretty much says the whole meaning of the ending, and Morty's just like, what? You're crazy, whatever. Da, da, da. And then they just continue it. But like that, I felt was a step too far for me. I wish they didn't have that line. I wish they just kept on laying in the mystery. I like that they
agree with
addressed
you there. Yeah.
but I don't know. It just
They did give it up. Yeah, they did. But you got to remember, you know what I think we all forget? Stupid people watch TV too. You know what I mean? Like, like people.
Sometimes you do need to spoon feed things to people. And
yeah, I mean, stupid people do watch TV.
Rick and
too.
Morty is the show.
No,
for
not the people
geniuses.
who are here.
And you have to be super smart to understand Rick and Morty.
It's just saying that no stupid people watch this show. I'm just saying that stupid people watch TV.
Right. By this show, he means the Drunk Banthas podcast.
The Drunk Banthas.
Live every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time.
That's what I'm talking about. Merry Christmas. Happy
let me play the clip. Let me roll the clip.
Yeah.
What do you shit our pants? You're looking at the two newest members of the whole club.
Okay, sluts.
My favorite line of the episode.
Take care of our wife.
Rick? No. Oh my God, no.
I gotta say, I could have dealt with a little bit more summer this season, but what were you about to say, Nite?
Oh, yes. More
I thought it was very interesting. I really liked Diane's appearance on the show, because Filmmaker's right. We don't know much about her, but we do know little glimpses of what she must have been like with Rick, because of the way that he talks about her. And earlier this season, he was like, you remind me a lot of your grandmother. Right. And I was seeing that a lot in this episode when they were hanging out. And I was wondering, because it didn't seem like it was out of the ordinary for them to be hanging out like that.
Yeah.
Drinking and kind of feeding off of each other and just having fun or whatever.
Yeah. And she mentioned that he was a lightweight previously.
Right. So she outdrinks them. And yeah, we get this kind of what is it? It's kind of it reminded me of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I was about to say Indiana
Jones scene where one of these aliens are about to kill over and die.
Yeah. What's her name? What's Marianne?
Marianne, yeah.
Marianne, who's also what's that actress's name?
I forget. You're asking too many questions now.
Well, she's in Scrooge. She's in Scrooged.
Yeah, she is in Scrooge. She's the love interest in Scrooge. One of the things, to your point, Nine, one of the things I thought was the most interesting about this episode was we get to see the difference between Rick and Diane from that time, because Rick is a very different person than he would have been when he knew her, because he's been so broken by the loss of her.
He's killed hundreds of thousands of millions of people.
Right. And
looking for her killer.
Right. And he's become a huge alcoholic. He's become more knowledgeable about the world. He's changed so much since he knew her. So it's can they even connect anymore because of that change? Yeah, he's older. So
which becomes significant for some reason later. I didn't know. Usually things like that don't become that significant. He gets old. They can't determine whether or not they're getting out of this hole.
Right.
And he keeps using my favorite scene in this whole episode was the scene where they were where Morty is like, yo, I'm going to figure out whether or not we in this hole or not.
Right.
Yeah. And then they go through this whole sequence where he grows up to be like a grown ass Morty.
Yeah, that's when I was okay. They're definitely still in the hole. Because, they're not going to see. Morty is a grown ass man.
Right.
But like before we even get to that point, like
No,
I did like how I'm curious how you guys felt, especially Film Age. There's this one line when Rick and Diane are talking about Lost. And I can't remember exactly the line, but Rick says something along the lines of, because Diane lives in a world where Lost only lasted one season. It was perfect.
Oh,
and,
right.
And Rick lives in the season, in our world where, it ended how it ended.
More cynical.
Right, more cynical. Do you guys feel like that was a commentary on how people feel about this show? It was like, oh, man, the first season was the best season. If it's gotten has been diminishing returns. Film Age, do you feel like this is sort of a commentary on how people feel about the show itself?
Let me roll the clip.
Roll it. Yeah.
For the people out there.
Church? What?
Yeah, they'd already died. It was purgatory or something. How did your universe's version end?
Jack, Locke, and Sawyer teamed up to kill a fog monster, and everyone got rescued. It was one season long, and it was perfect television.
Well, you can be great, or you can be around forever, right?
True.
So yeah, like that is around
forever.
Yeah. I go ahead, Film Age.
Yeah, so this I think is like the bigger point to what I feel like this whole episode is. And it's like, yeah, I do think that it's a commentary on that, but I also think that it's a commentary on where this show is gonna be going. And that is it's gonna continue. And it seems like this whole thing is like a send off to like what we knew as Rick and Morty, and now this next step is going to be this whole nother continuation. So yes, I do in short think that it is saying a lot more than just the dialogue in the show itself. So
yeah, to that point, I literally feel the same way. I feel like it may not be a bad thing though, because I think that what they're saying goodbye to is a little backstory. When the show first started, it was just completely random AF, and no one intended on answering any questions. There was, episodes that happened, and they had happened, and that was it. Going to the next thing. There was so much fanfare that built from it, naturally from television, because you're in someone's home,
right?
Not on a television screen. I mean, not on a movie screen. You become more attached to it. So much fanfare. People wanted the questions answered, and they felt pressure to answer those questions,
right?
Because they didn't have big long-term contracts at that time for the show. So you didn't know when you were coming back. So they felt to some degree, they had to answer some of these questions to be able to keep getting this contract, to keep putting out more episodes. And also adhering, placating to day one fans, if you will, who were like, yo, I need my random shit. I need my, blitzkrieg of insanity. And I think I do think that they have given a little shake off, like, this is the end of an era I think the end of the era is for the placating. I think they're saying, look, we can't ever make everybody happy. No more answering questions. That's why you got the episodes, in my opinion, they did these out of order on purpose. I think that all these episodes are out of order. And I think it's on purpose because they were like, yo, look, these
hold on. Can I ask you something about that? Because are you saying, do you feel like this wasn't initially like the season finale? Because this feels like a season finale.
Yes, I think this wasn't initially the season finale. If you take out the end credit, this is just another one of these episodes.
I could see a world where I could see a world with this episode and the evil Rick and evil Morty episode were interchanged, and could have that as the final episode.
Yeah.
Maybe that like the
Definitely.
sort of like mid-season. This be the mid-season episode. But I don't know. I personally have always seen this show. Like I don't think that this show has ever really changed. Like I've always seen this as sort of kind of like sort of like Adventure Time, where like we get a bunch of like crazy, silly episodes and like episodes that don't have a lot of connectivity. But then you also have these little like Easter eggs and things in the background. Like it's like, oh, when are we gonna see the Lich again? Maybe not for another couple of seasons, but either way, you're still gonna have all these interesting, silly episodes that just have tropes about fantasy and character building moments for these characters. Like even back in season 1, we still had episodes like Lawnmower Dog, which are completely have non-connected to anything. It's just like a funny, silly episode.
Miss that fucking dog.
I love that dog. But we also still have episodes like the Evil Morty episode, which was in the first season. So
right.
Yeah, but I definitely get where Film Age is coming from. Like it's because of the expectation of the lore. As the lore has built, we get more expectation of what we're gonna get from that.
As the lore has built,
but I
will increase expectation.
What is this voice?
Open your mind.
Open your mind.
But how do you guys feel about just like toward the end of this episode, we do get the realization that this hole is feeding off of the fears of Rick, and he's is actually killing him. So Morty has to come up with a way to save him in this weird.
Well, let's not jump over this fucking incredible monologue. When
this is
the guy in this
Sabretooth, ain't it?
Oh yeah, this is Lee Schreiber. Yeah, Lee Schreiber.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna have to maybe break this up, but like I feel like this was such a good
I got the cheat code
of an episode right here.
I got the cheat code, man. We're not getting this taken down. I'm trying to tell you. You show it.
What would it make?
You are hard to scare.
And Rick isn't, right? The hole's gonna like suck on him forever because his big secret is that he's got the most fear.
Well, we can certainly say you're not afraid to be reductive. I doubt your grandpa has more.
Let me
meet the love of your life. Well, pride of happiness.
Dumb.
You're dumb. That's why you're not scared to be happy.
You're dumb.
By the way,
not scared to be happy. Like I felt like there's this message here that actually did make me sad, especially by the end of the episode. And I'll get to a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, happiness is a trap. It can't last forever. Let's say you meet the love of your life. Well, it's still going to end. It's inevitable, whether by the slow pull of a disease or the shock of loose footing on a hiking trail, whether it be the corrosion of two personalities that reshape each other until they're incompatible.
Yeah. See, I felt the same way here.
There's the things that need to be said to that person that night. The point is, happiness always ends.
I felt the same way here. Because, see, look, I recently went through a breakup, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a real bad breakup, right? But then I got back with my ex, right? And like, but this is like 2 years after, after the breakup. You know what happened though? I had came to that conclusion though, what he just said. I was like, you could like be with somebody and then it just end right there. And is that any different than, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have somebody that just leave you, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole world can end, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have no guaranteed time with nobody. You know what I'm saying? And once you like really come to that conclusion that you have no control whatsoever over anything that takes place in your life, you kind of like have a little bit, I don't know, maybe that may give somebody else anxiety. But for me, in that moment, when I had so much anxiety, it gave me this little peace. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little clairvoyance, right? Like there's something right here.
Always ends. Best case scenario, think about this. Best case is that you die at the same time. Yikes.
And I feel like that's kind of like what the crux of this episode is actually getting at too. Like it is mixing those themes of just like, what your relationship is, and then also like a little bit what you said about like the loss scenario, about a relationship with the fandom, right? Like you can either be great or last forever. or
Right.
go on for a long time.
That's
And
honestly, during this monologue, there's a bit from a Louis C.K. stand-up that's almost the exact same thing.
Okay.
where he says, like, you know, the best case scenario is that, you know, you find the love of your life and then she fucking dies. Like,
Right,
that's
exactly.
That's the best case
Exactly, because
scenario.
that's
the
what
best
kept
you can
kept
hope
happening to me. It's like,
that's
yo, best case scenario is like I get back together with my ex, and then we grow old and die.
Yeah.
Like, God damn
Like,
it,
that
it's
is
still
it.
death. Death is
Yeah.
actually what is in our future.
Yeah.
There is no future other than death.
Yeah. There's a movie I saw recently called American Fiction where, like, one of the characters is like, why does everything always end badly? And the other character's like, because everything always ends. And it's just one of those things about life. It's like everything ends eventually. So I thought that was, to your point, this is a really great monologue.
Well, I disagree. I disagree a lot about this monologue. Actually,
oh, look at this optimist over here. No, I'm just joking. I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
This was like the blonde UGG, what is it, like pumpkin spice Starbucks monologue. It's like Kevin Smith did this in Clerks.
Damn,
It's
you're
just
like
you said it now that Louis C.K. said it. It's like better people at better points in their careers said it better, and they're just regurgitating stuff that it's just like, oh, thank you. Oh my God, this is the kind, and this is that spoon-fed stuff that I felt was not in even the previous season. It's like, really? Like, okay, thank you. Like,
to your point earlier, I think this is what
I was just
because I made this.
Hold on, Philmates, drop the mic. Drop the mic.
I have that there.
I just feel like I kind of mentioned this earlier in the season that I just do not believe. Actually, it might be on the Gotham Gazette where we discussed Justin Roiland's leaving the of Rick and Morty. I don't feel like there was you even say it if it was. Actually, can I get the music? Because I have a theory.
Ooh.
I don't even believe that you even say that he's not there no more if he was always not there no more. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's something that would have already been news. You know what I'm talking about? It's people working on the streets. They get news. That wasn't news until he wasn't there no more. So I think that that this,
which guy?
Justin.
Oh, okay.
Because he is allegedly hasn't been there for the last 2 years, but I don't think that's true. I think that he has been there. He's been working, and that this is like them trying to tell you, look, shit's not gonna be the same because this motherfucker ain't gonna be here no more. But some of this shit was just a little off because they did not actually have that they normally have. You know what I'm saying? I think that they lied when they said that. Like I was saying, I agree with Film Age. I think that they lied when they said that he's just been. Don't worry about him. He's been gone for years.
I will say, like, when it comes to animation, like, I feel like the only thing that probably really changed before they made, because he just got canceled or whatever this year. I don't think they have a turnaround enough to like change that much stuff.
They literally don't.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying I think he wasn't with them this year. I think he wasn't there when they did this season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you think they cut him like earlier than what the press has?
Yes.
Like what
I think that it's got to be either they just cut him or that they cut him earlier.
I also think this episode could be used as a future backdoor to get him back in if they ever choose to.
Ever coming back.
I'll tell you why he could come back, because he actually hasn't been like Jonathan Majors, for instance. He just got found guilty, right?
Dang.
Jonathan Majors probably doesn't come back. Whether he's adjudicated with all his crimes or whatever, you know what I'm saying, of his charges or whatever, whether or not he probably never gets another job is with Disney at least,
But-
right? But with Justin, this is his property. This is his actual intellectual property. So he still owns it. And also, he never was actually convicted
I don't know
of
if
any
it is.
crimes.
I don't think he owns.
Yeah,
He's still
I
a
agree
creator.
with not. I still see his name in the
If he
credits.
sold that
Yeah,
shit.
he's still a creator.
But
He
he
still gets
doesn't.
money for it.
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
gets royalties, but he's definitely not the IP holder anymore.
Right.
No, he still gets half. He's in the credits. Like he's gonna get half. That's how that look. That would be a whole nother variety article.
Not
if he
necessarily
wasn't getting paid for it. I'm just trying.
He's getting paid probably, but I doubt that he's getting
Yeah,
half.
no,
He's not getting.
Yeah,
half.
no.
I mean, he's the creator. He's getting creator. He's getting creator rights.
Yeah, whatever he signed, maybe is going to be held up. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's a.
But yeah,
there-
no,
there's
I don't think there's a. I don't think that's a very out there theory. But yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's why we play the
episode-
X-Files.
But toward the end of the episode, after one escape attempt, Rick offhandedly mentions that Morty is irreplaceable, which causes Morty to realize that he's not talking to the real Rick, and that Rick never followed him into the fear hole to begin with. Morty comes to the realization
Because why would he, right?
that his true fear is Rick leaving him, and upon overcoming his true fear, Morty finally escapes the fear hole. I thought that this was pretty rad, like especially all the different ways that they
thought it was amazing.
Like I thought that was pretty cool, just like the different ways that they just kept kept popping out. But yeah, like what did you think of just the way Morty finally finds his way out of the hole, Film Age?
I actually enjoyed that part. I actually liked that. I honestly wanted it to continue after. Oh, sorry. Play the scene 9.
Oh no, I was just putting up a visual.
Yeah, you go first.
Let me get a.
Oh.
I'll get a.
Yeah, no, it was good. I kind of hope that they would leave it ambiguous like Inception, and we kind of don't know. But they do kind of leave it to me, and there's always a possibility that they could pull that in a future twist episode where it's just like, oh yeah, you're still in the hole. Oh God, that would be a cool callback at some point.
I did like that he said it's like, I hope we're not still getting out of this hole 2 fucking seasons from now.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. And I said, but
I thought that was also like a kind of a play on the fact that Justin's not there. Like,
oh yeah,
I think that was kind of a play. Like, yo,
that could have been a dig too.
We're trying to get out of this fucking hole that this
Yeah.
weirdo put us in. Because like we seen in the articles before, if you go check out the Gotham Gazette on Nerds at Night, he was a problem and wasn't contributing because he was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So maybe they were like writing all that in there, like, yo, maybe I hope we're not still getting ourselves out of this hole 2 seasons from now. This is fucking exhausting.
Oh man, that's a good observation.
Hey,
I really like that take. It's what, it's actually making me kind of like the episode now that the way you phrased it like that.
I feel like that is meta. I feel like that's too meta though.
What do you mean too meta? If you think about it, they put yourself in their positions at the time.
Well, like,
they're like literally dealing
actually
with this insane person. Remember those articles that we was going over?
No, I misspoke. I'm not saying it's too meta. I should say that I feel like the main message of the episode actually holds a lot of weight too.
Oh yes, no, I was just talking about that one joke. I was just talking about just that one joke right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things
that little poke,
one of the things the show always does so well is just like balancing that balancing beam of meta silliness and self-referential humor and having this really deep shit that's just like, oh man, am I depressed? Like, should I go to a therapist?
Therapy appointment tomorrow?
Is there a BetterHelp commercial after this? But yeah, it's very like they always like sort of balance that beam, which is I think is always interesting. And they also have these big thematic concepts where it is multi-layered. You can take it wherever you want to. It's very like one person can watch the show and take something completely different than the other person who watches that show and get something emotionally resonant out of it. So I think one of the just like great things about this show and this episode, I think is one of the best episodes this season, personally. But then at the end when Morty gets
hold on, let me
sorry,
at least play the clip.
Please.
Without you.
What did you say?
I said I'm not leaving you in here. Come on, you're irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. What?
Oh my God! I know what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid you'd never say that in real life. I'm afraid that if I jumped into a hole, you wouldn't even bother jumping in after me. You'd just stand there and watch. This entire thing has been about me. You're not even in the hole, are you?
Thank you for visiting the fear.
That was.
Thank you for visiting. So it's this crazy thing about like also Morty is going through like his fear of acceptance, right?
Yeah.
And his fear of like the other half of being this duo, right? But then at the end, that layering of let me play this clip right here. Yeah, like
buddy, let's go slam some pancakes.
And you pause it for just a second. I did really like that callback where it was like played. It's like half comedy, whereas like the same thing that Morty did at the beginning of the episode, but also just like really tragic because he can't help but like just the thought of maybe I can see my ex-wife again or my dead wife again. It's like
he said Diane was in there.
Yeah, it's like that's enough to make him he can't physically stop himself from running back. So I really liked that. But go ahead.
But at the same time, it also like with the scene justifies that Morty's fear is unfounded.
Yeah,
because he puts his picture up, like he is like the thing, like Rick's need, or like in the multiverse.
But do you also like the visual representation of the fact that Morty is artificial, and that the picture is coming out of his wallet, not from the Polaroid?
Right.
So it's Rick putting.
No. I think it is like I feel like it is more of a representation of like like he's so proud of his grandson for like overcoming this thing, right? And like he did it. But the thing that gets me is that he was too coward to also do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
like, I think in a way he's not as
Morty just like kind of like pulled ahead on like a type of fortitude than Rick is, because Rick is actually afraid of his worst fear ever. And maybe we did just see that through or represented through Morty's whole experience. But the actual fact of the matter is that we may not know that that's the true thing, that Rick is like afraid to be happy, afraid to see his ex-wife, but the fact of the matter is that Morty went through with it and Rick did it.
Well, see, I think go ahead, Filmage. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the reason why I went that whole thing is to also is for him like creating Morty is like another like concept that I have is like Morty is a better version of him. So he created a better version of him, and so he's putting his picture up as like, this is a better me. So
I was getting like, it's my I'm going to hang this up on my fridge, grandson, type of like situation.
I like that. See, I like that. My thing is, I think Rick didn't go into the hole and never intended to go into the hole when running over there. I think he did look in there with a little bit of a
I think he
sadness. Hold on, let me tell you. I think that the reason he ran back is for all the reasons that y'all just mentioned about him, why he put the picture up on the wall. I think he had that moment of like, I'm really proud of my grandson. Like this is the first thing that we've seen Morty get himself out of that didn't require Rick using some technology and or a portal gun. You know, I think he really was proud of Morty in this moment. And I think he ran back and, you know, he's looking at the hole having a moment of reflection, like thinking about Diane, but I don't think he thought about getting into the hole for the same reason that Morty mentioned about like Morty's dream in the hole. He was thinking about.
He was thinking like that. There's only one reason why they have this shot.
Let me finish.
He's thinking about getting in that goddamn hole.
Because then that involves time. That involves time travel, and we just heard in this episode, we're reminded in this episode that Rick hates time travel. Time travel doesn't do that. And also, too, in episode 5 of this season, where he kills his nemesis, he mentions they all get captured by a bunch of Ricks, including our Rick and Morty and evil Morty, get captured, and they have to do this trials. And he's the evil Rick. He tells everybody, "Hey, if you kill whoever kills everybody and lives to the end, I'll give you your own Diane." And Rick is vehement about how he cannot do that. That is not possible. Do not fall for it, not because he doesn't want to see Diane, but because it's just not something that can happen.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't go into anything that he knows is not possible.
Right.
Like, it's not going to happen, which is why I believe this episode should have been 5th, and the 5th episode should have been the last. I watched the last episode. I watched 5 today, and I was like, "Yo, this episode should have been the last episode." Yeah. It would have been. It had way way more stakes. It had a
delicious.
Well, let me ask you this then. Okay, because I slightly agree with you. I actually think that it should have been like 8, 9, and that I think this should have been the season finale. But maybe having the episode 5 or 4, whatever that they resolve the Rick Prime incident.
5, yeah.
5. I feel like they should have been. Let me see here.
That should have been
Rick would be afraid. He wouldn't come out. He couldn't risk it. I don't know if that's true either. But I guess this is the question that I want to ask you, Bill, Film Age, Alex, is then, going with my theory that Rick was actually worried about jumping in that hole.
Right.
What would be his greatest fear?
AIDS. Sorry.
I think.
That's one.
Venereal diseases.
Top 10 for me, I guess.
I think at this point
it's Denny's after all.
I think at this point it would have something to do with Morty, just because of him posting the picture up on the cork board, and maybe he's even too afraid to figure out what his biggest fear is, and that's why he doesn't jump in.
I think he knows what his biggest fear is, and he doesn't need to jump into a hole to be dealing with it. That's what I'm saying. I think he looked at it like I'm not going in there to live a life looking for my greatest fear, because I know what my greatest fear is. I'm not running from my greatest fear. I am just living in the wallow of sadness that is the existence.
Right.
He already that is his existence. He already is aware of how fucked up everything is around the world. I mean, around the infinity.
Right.
And because remember in episode 5, Evil Rick says, "I gave you infinity, and what did you do with it? You moved in with my family."
Right.
Like, he is a sentimental Rick. As till as much as we don't think about it, I think that'll be the last episode. We'll find out that he's a sentimental Rick. Our Rick is sentimental Rick.
I do think, and I'll let Film Age go next, but I do feel like, whether it's true or not, I feel like one of the ideas of this episode is that nobody really knows what their worst fear is until they're confronted with it,
right?
Or they just have really really expensive therapy. I feel like to Morty's point, he has to go through multiple lifetimes before he even figures out what exactly he's super afraid of. But
and Rick lost his therapist this year.
That's true. to fucking president.
Yeah, man.
Air Force One.
Keith David took his goddamn.
Hold on. I want Alex to expound upon that a little bit more.
Yeah, elaborations. Alex.
Oh no, I just feel like it's one of the great things about this episode is like Morty spends so much time trying to figure out what his greatest fear is, and obviously goes probably decades in his mind trying to figure out what his greatest fear is. And I just don't think, like to your point earlier, Nine, I don't think that Rick is emotionally courageous enough to go through that. Yeah. And it's a lot to try to actually figre out what your greatest fear is, and maybe he isn't able to overcome that and get out of the hole. Because one of the cool things about this cork board is that they mentioned at the beginning is like, oh, this is like the scariest place in the universe, and there's only 3 pictures up on the wall. It's like, that's because everybody else died. Nobody else was able to actually get out of the hole.
Or most people use the first stall when entering a bathroom. That's statistically proven.
Like get in the hole.
Most people do not. Most people do not. No, just most people do. First of all, we don't know where the Denny's is. Okay. Because they was in a spaceship. Then also the Denny's is all like the stall is at the very end. That's where people go to doo-doo. You go to doo-doo at the end stall. Everybody knows that. And most people
that's a handicap stall too. Like they
boom. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. And think about it. There's a video camera thing.
Like, I'm probably not gonna use a bathroom. After I see a big hole in the ground and I'm
probably just not gonna do that. 3
people. All I'm saying is that it felt like very resonant. It gave me, like, after I watched it, and I like just only watched it the one time, but it gave me this like weird pang in my heart. I was like, ooh, okay. And it, again, just like putting myself in that situation, I was like, oh yeah, would I like?
I think that's the music.
That hole.
I think that's the music.
I think that would I do it?
I mean, I'm just saying this show does a really good job of like getting those moments in you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that episode with Unity, the first Unity episode, man, I about cry every time at the end of that episode. Like it's just the music. I'm just saying it's the music in the moment. I'm just saying, but the moment means nothing without the music, and the music means nothing without the moment. Right.
So I feel like this did the same thing with like Planetina, the Planetina episode, almost, where I'm like, oh yeah, it's got this like little pang. I feel like the show does a really good job of analyzing. Little Frothy. I can feel it.
I can feel it. I just don't want to cry.
Can you feel the love? But yeah, the show does a great job of just analyzing kind of like these little like nuances to relationships that I don't know. It goes really well tandem with the sci-fi elements. But let's throw it to Film Age because about to go off.
Well, okay. So, I think this is I think he was definitely going to jump in the hole, but he figured out what his true fear is, and that is losing, I think, Morty. I think that's what he did. That's why he put up the picture, and it's all because it's like, but the problem is now Morty no longer has any fear, and he was in the dark hole. So now it's planting the seeds for the evil Morty. Because
that was my theory. Like maybe this will be setting up.
Elaborate on that.
This,
I mean, it's just that I think in the early seasons he was just like, there's nothing worse than an overzealous Morty or a cocky Morty, whatever. So now that a Morty no longer has fear, it's just, now he's starting to question shit like, like, does he really believe that 2 people can go in the hole at the same time? Is that really is he really believing it, or is he just questioning it like he always is, But but I think that's it. And I think that I think it's all going to connect back to Morty, because it all stems from that last line of his realization where he's just like, has this been about me this whole time? And then it just Rick's mouth opens and that. So I think there's something in connection with him with the entirety of the series. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot of visuals, a lot of cool visuals.
And like, you know, just right here on the corkboard, how Rick leaves it. Like that's it. Like went in the hole. Like he didn't put a picture of both of them. But he felt like Morty needed to be recognized. And when we're talking about like evil Morty, right? You know, we kind of like relate that to Rick Prime. But like, what if like this Morty is like Morty Prime? You know what I mean? Like, what if evil Morty is just like evil Morty and then Morty is Morty Prime?
I've always said, you know, you guys can go back and check out old episodes of the Drunk Banthas podcast where we covered the last 2 seasons of Rick and Morty. I've always said that our Morty is the Mortiest Morty. You know, and that's the reason he's able to get through these things. And our Rick is the Rickest Rick. And but I think that our Rick is the Rickest Rick because our Rick is the sensitive Rick. I think Rick is the Rick that we have is the only Rick that is sensitive enough to get things done, but he's not like, you know, sad. You know, like he's not completely bogged down in his sadness. Every Rick is sad, every Rick is tortured, but every Rick isn't sensitive. Right. Every Rick doesn't care, you know, and he cares about his Morty. You know, he cares about all the Mortys, really, because he would have killed evil Morty if he felt like he really needed to, right? Because like evil Morty now has these plans to destroy all of the Ricks if it comes down.
He can, he can.
They definitely made sure to point out even in the first season that this is the Rick that cares the most about his Morty. Like he's the one who has the most emotional connection with his Morty. So and that just this is sort of just more of an example of that with this cute little scene at the end where he posts the picture up on the wall.
I like how it's the center too. I like how he put the center.
Right in the center.
I have one really important question before we leave. What you guys think about the end credit scene?
Oh yeah, the post-credit scene. It is revealed that Mr. Poopy Butthole stole one of Rick's portal guns and uses it to switch places with another. He said he stole it.
I said he didn't steal. He left with it. It was a joke.
Mr. Poopy Butthole stole one of Rick's.
Hold on. Go back. Hold on. YouTube, don't. We're gonna go back.
How about that? Season 7. Touch and go there for a second. Oh, remember when I stole my kid? I stole one.
Okay, pause it for just a second. Sorry.
Where is he? Why is he?
He's in a dumpster.
Why does he have a? But why?
What do you mean? He's a fucking wanted man. He's wanted.
He has a portal gun.
He can be anywhere.
What is this?
Why is he in the dumpster?
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
He's such a weird fucking guy.
Yeah, like he doesn't need to be. He can go to any universe. It could be a universe for all Mr. Poopy Buttholes. You know, like
Filmage, since you're like more of the skeptic of this season, I'm curious how you felt about like the performance of this new actor playing Mr. Poopy Butthole.
You mean me?
And also like how we get another tag like season finale tag with Mr. Poopy Butthole wrapping things up.
And this was Mr. I want to point out Mr. Poopy Butthole was in Filmage's tweet thread rant. So
I was gonna pull that up.
But yeah, go ahead. But throwing it to you, Filmage.
That was the biggest like thing to like kind of wrap my mind around was like, oh god, this doesn't sound like Mr. Poopy Butthole at all, which is kind of weird to say out loud, but
really?
I don't know.
I feel like his voice is easiest to replicate.
Put it in the comments
because of how ridiculous it is.
Do you guys think this is? This sounds the same.
He sounds more intellectual. He sounds like a more like he doesn't sound like all frantic but here's what I like about this post-credit scene though. I'm just now realizing it. he could be like an alternate Mr. Poopy Butthole that jumped into the because it looks like he jumps into one of the post-credit scenes from the previous season and kills the original one and throws him in. So, but yeah, no, I was like, no, I wasn't having it at the time, but now that I see it again, I'm like, oh, it could be a different Mr. Poopy Butthole that somehow infiltrated that. We don't know when he portal jumped. He could have infiltrated, and then that's the Mr. Poopy Butthole that they took for his birthday party. And so Rick doesn't even know. So,
Exactly. So your Mr. Poopy Butthole isn't the same Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah. Right.
And you know what? Let me just say, congratulations. To everybody at the Rick and Morty show.
Yes.
Being at this last episode, I didn't mention this ever before, but they have convinced grown men and women all over YouTube to say Mr. Poopy Butthole all on Twitter and say it out loud and be in these very
in front of dudes.
In front of dudes, you're gonna do very tense intellectual conversation about Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah.
To like even say trajectory, like one of Phil Major's tweets has the sentence with trajectory and Mr. Poopy Butthole at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but those two words are together.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious because I was like, you know what? This is amazing that there is evidence of people having conversations about a man named Mr. When the world ends and fucking aliens, aliens came down right now and they was like, yo, what is y'all talking about?
Oh my god,
Mr. Poopy Butthole. That's what we've been talking about.
That was the brain parasite episode where he gets introduced, right? Because we think he's a fake character, and then Beth shoots him in the stomach. Okay. I was trying to remember.
Bill, Alex, have you guys or everyone, have you guys heard of Eye Patch Wolf?
Eye Patch Wolf?
Do you guys know?
It sounds like a new sponsor.
I want you guys to watch his video on Garfield because there's a little bit of what Bill was talking about, like when aliens come down, they're going to think that we worshipped Garfield because how much Garfield but no, it is literally just a perfect. It's one of the best video essays I've ever seen.
Okay,
Eye Patch Wolf. Shout out to Eye Patch Wolf. Come on, does it hold up? Eye Patch Wolf.
But Bill, do you have any final thoughts on the season and this episode?
Hold on. Let me play the whole.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. Let's play the whole.
Go there for a second. Oh, remember when I stole my kid? I stole one of these too. Well, it's all about having a goal and stopping at nothing.
I love the fact that he saw that toy in the dumpster and simultaneously grabbed it and threw it at his kid to keep him distracted.
I stole one of these too.
He knew where he was going.
I just realized that.
He knew where he was going.
It's all about having a goal and stopping at nothing to achieve.
It's all about having a goal, and stopping at nothing to achieve it.
That's the beauty of animators right there.
Okay, so I feel like we're going to get the saga of Mrs. Poopy Butthole as a side plot, right?
That's definitely
or like Phil Major was saying, this is how it always has been. And this is the reason that she didn't trust him in the first place and then ended up breaking up with him in the first place.
Well, why would he reference the fact that
it might be one of those time machine episodes? It might be like a time machine situation where you can't avoid your fate. Even though he goes to a different universe to try to escape his fate. And then he ends up ending up in the same loop where his wife doesn't trust him because he does this crazy shit. And I would not put it outside, even though this show is silly as fuck.
Yeah, hit him with that shit, nigga. Hit him with that shit.
It's really hard to sit next to him right now because he's on fire. You know what I'm saying? Those theories is on fire.
All right, real quick, let me get to the last defense of Film Age here.
That's right. Yeah, we got to get to the film age tweets.
So we can the film age tweets. I got a little bit of traction for like how
Film age tweets are dope though. By the way, anybody who is anybody, you need to go follow.
Go to film age tweets. He has the tweets. Film age has the tweets.
He's got the tweets. He's got the tweets.
He's
got the tweets.
For future reference, is it okay? Like, cause like I want to write like rants about stuff, but like I don't like just ranting. Is it okay if I like tag the drunk Banthas and you?
On
things that you may be talking about. You know,
absolutely.
Put me as a contributor. I'll untag myself if it gets too hot.
And we will not untag anything. I'm not untagging until CNN. I'm not untagging until CNN calls us. And
no. I should cancel Obama. I can't have that shit on my name. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just read them. I don't know like what your screen situation is, but I feel like it may be easier for me to read them. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, go for it, man. Go for it.
With the Rick and Morty finale upon us, I want to take this time to give my perspective going into this. I rewatched the show and Drunk Banthas and 9 Yards coverage, and I feel confident in my opinion. So let's begin. That's how you know it's about to fucking get down. I feel confident in my opinion.
Exactly.
So
I read these.
The games begin.
I read these to Alex just how you're reading them to everyone right now.
I think he's got some tea in that flask.
Yeah.
This is about to be spilled.
Get your popcorn ready.
Going in, I was a major skeptic, and I still am. One of the things I've heard is the promise of the next episode being the one where you find out what Rick Sanchez has been up to. And with every episode, the more I realize nothing coming. Okay. So so you're saying like since
like me on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So you're saying like since the beginning, like every episode, you're like, okay, what's the overarching plot?
Right.
I was feeling that too. Like, I
mentioned...
only feel that when it's like a kind of just like a weaker episode. But if it's like a good episode, like the spaghetti episode this season was so brilliant, but it didn't have any overarching theme to it.
Yeah, but Phil Mage had mentioned this. He had voiced this very much on the previous episode, I believe. Like he mentioned this before.
Yeah. Okay, what the fuck are y'all doing? I feel you on that. The 30-minute session, the 30-minute season finale can't possibly hold any substantial event that won't feel like a bloated info dump. But the major change in the world building, it went mainstream in its world building, and that's ultimately what it's going to be. Its undoing. And I kind of like feel you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have heard this sentiment a lot through the internet that like people are not digging what they're not picking up what Rick and Morty's throwing down as far as like the world building and the overarching story of everything. But I do feel like they have a hard task with like, they're trying to be, Dan Harmon has mentioned in interviews, they're trying to be like the Simpsons in a sense. Yeah, we're both Glendale Community College alums.
Alex was the editor for the Glendale Community College newspaper.
Actually, you can see that. I wrote a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review for Glendale Community College.
He was literally the editor. And let me just say this. That means he was literally the editor for every article that came out in that year.
But I do feel like a lot of people have had this sentiment about the Rick and Morty as a whole, even like not even just this season, like the past few seasons, people have felt like the show isn't as good as it's been the first couple of seasons. So I feel like these comments are valid. These criticisms are valid. But yeah, I'll let you keep going.
So this is the most liked tweet in the thread. So this one got like, which is very rare because usually it's like the first one that's most liked, and then it's diminishing returns. But
I told you this is a one-on-one on how to do some tweets now.
Rick and Morty invented its own system of world building, a truly approach and
truly unique
unique approach, and the perfect example. Look at the trajectory of Mr. Poopy Butthole. He was never given spotlight. He was introduced, and then he showed up in post-credit scenes, and then a side character.
Yes. Now let me just say, look, don't apologize for misspells or because that's what I mean by a perfect tweet. Because the problem with tweets now is that you can you can pay to edit. You can pay to edit your tweet, and you can do all
AI
this
to make your tweet.
You can get AI to make your tweet and all this shit. It takes. This is how Twitter grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why it is famous. You get your good fucking argument that you get pissed off, and you get drunk,
right?
And then you go to work, and then you fucking get on Twitter. And you post all these photos and the memes and the GIFs, and then you fucking let all that shit out.
Yeah.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out. Pop out.
Let it out. Condoleezza Rice.
This is what it's supposed to be used for.
This season, not only is he given a full episode, but all these other fan favorite show up, and it feels like it's pandering. He would never get a full episode, and if he did, it would feel so forced. Okay, so I kind of want you to elaborate on that, Film Age. Like, you're saying that Mr. Poopy Butthole should have never gotten a full episode, or do you feel like it was just?
I don't. I think if they give him a full episode, I think it should come from a genuine place. And in the same episode, it like Unity shows up. And like all these other factors show up. Wait. Sorry.
Well, Mr. Gearhead, Squanch.
Mr. Gearhead, Squanch, and I get like even them. It's just like I like Gearhead when he shows up, but like not when he's like when it's more random and just like hey pops. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it felt like they were just trying to get. Like just fill in all these familiar things to like, okay, here's all these things that you guys like, and it's just it was just an off-putting episode for anyways. But like it just didn't feel like an episode that I felt like Mr. Poopy Butthole, a professor who is, like writing on a chalkboard, who knows kung fu. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, let's get together and let's get fucked up.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
You do that, guy?
Hey, yo. He just said Mr. Poopy Butthole knows kung fu.
I forgot about that.
Or he's like that fucking sentence alone.
He's like Michael Caine in Inception, where he's like, write this shit on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
I do agree. To a certain extent, but I do just like to bring up Adventure Time again, like because I do see a lot of parallels between this and Adventure Time, and there's probably people who feel the same way about Adventure Time, where they're just like, I liked when Fiona and Cake were just like sort of like these sort of background characters that like are sort of mentioned like once every 2 seasons or something like that. Now they have their whole like own TV series now that I haven't even watched. So I see that as a fair comparison, but like when Adventure Time was like at its the actual series itself, I feel like they had a nice balance of just like the lore and the silly randomness, and I personally have enjoyed Rick and Morty in that sense, where it just like has one foot in the random silliness and one foot in the lore and the world building. But yeah, I can definitely see how these past like 3 or 4 seasons have rubbed people the wrong way, and just the way that they've rolled things out.
I'm like not even talking about the last 3 or 4 seasons. I love one.
He's talking about this season.
This particular season is the only season that I have a problem.
Oh, so this is the only one that you okay.
This is the only one that I felt like every episode wasn't a exploration of a new concept, or it wasn't an exploration of like a new angle to a concept that we're already familiar with. Like with simulations, like when we were introduced to that, they were in a simulation within a simulation within, and then
that was the first Rick and Morty episode I ever watched.
Right, yeah, and then
yeah, I had been telling him like, yo, you gotta watch this show.
Right, yeah, and then the next time they bring that like something like that up, it's an arcade machine in an arcade, and he lives an entire life as this guy, and then it's just like, oh, okay, and then great,
Then there's the
and
train
then,
episode.
Then not even. Then there's the other episode where he's again. It's like, oh, all these Mortys are all around this town talking to each other. Like, what's this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, his mind has broken up into a million different pieces, and they're populating this world, and they all have to get out, otherwise memories and stuff are gone. So it's just like that is the concepts that I was wanting from this season,
it was
and none of it happened. It was just none of that big, like, oh my god.
Surprising to me. That's surprising me that you didn't really like. So well,
sorry, Go
ahead, Alex.
Real quick, I just want to mention this real quick, just because I've talked to other people who don't like Rick and Morty, and one person I used to work with specifically, and I was like, why don't you like Rick and Morty? It's like I've only seen 3 episodes, and every episode is just about like how like there's like 14 different Ricks and Mortys, and they just have to like do like different things in different universes to fight other Rick and Mortys. And I was like, there are a lot of episodes like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like there are a lot of like things where they retread the same sort of.
Well, they're watching it wrong.
Which is fair enough. Like I just feel like
it just means you haven't been watching since the beginning.
But I mean,
and you don't watch every, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, regardless, like I could see how, like, even if you only just watch a few episodes and you're like, this is maybe they use the same tropes a little bit too much, you know, for your liking. That's fair. Like, you know, maybe it's just
that's difficult because it's a sci-fi show, right?
Right.
And it's doing like so many different parodies and different concepts,
but that's
one episode, right?
But that's why I think that they're going away from that. To me, that's what this episode was. Like, yo, yeah. You know, all those things that you fucking nerds always asking us about on Twitter. Fuck that. We answered all those questions this year. Like, don't ask me any more questions. Sit down and watch the fucking show. Like, that's kind of how I feel like this episode came across a little bit.
In the words of Morty, nothing matters. You want to go watch TV?
No one exists on purpose. We're all gonna die. You want to go watch TV?
I'm gonna do you justice, Film Agent, and also just like finish out these tweets here.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing I liked about Rick and Morty was the nihilistic approach to the world building. These characters could come up, and if they did, sometimes they wouldn't even acknowledge it. Gearhead shows up holding Rick hostage, which then he gets shot in the head, and that was it. And that's what I loved about it. But now what they were getting is revisiting concepts instead of pursuing the new. I actually do agree with that. Like, but that's again where I'm falling. Like, it's kind of hard to explore new concepts when you have ran through like almost every sci-fi. Like, it's going to be hard to run through sci-fi concepts.
Where's the person who came up with the snake episode? Like that opening snake episode, you know what I'm saying? Where he drops the snake.
Works for Marvel now.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you, man.
He works for Marvel.
I did not like that episode.
Really? Oh,
Battles Rick Snake Galactica or whatever.
Well, I will say that if you like that episode, then you definitely liked episode 5 of this season, and then that means that, like I said, I felt that's the reason that episode should have been this episode, number wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, but there must be a reason that they felt the reason to do it differently, and I just feel like it's to keep that set feeling, like to keep you guessing. You know what I'm saying? To never have you like look, this is one of those few seasons they don't end it with a it's ending and it's crazy. It's just Rick and Morty for 100 years.
Like, this is probably the least,
and also there's no Rick going to prison type shit. Like there's no exile type shit.
There's no cliffhanger or anything like that. It's just like it ends how it ends. We could probably talk about this for like.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish these out. I'm gonna do them. And with Dan Harmon saying he was he wants this to be the next Simpsons, then you might as well put a bullet in the series because I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't have any hope for this finale to give me any sort of amazing lore heavy episode or gotcha. I mean, wait, like you were completely right about that, right? Yeah. Because this is from December 17th. This is what we've been doing the whole time type moment. It'll be another aimless episode with a Morty Prime Easter egg. Oh, you might be right. And then obviously Bill responding from the Drunk Banthas. Well, we're about to watch it and we shall see. We will do our homework and have a response for you tonight. And fellas, we did respond, didn't we? We did respond.
But let me just say, for just full transparency, I did drop an expensive lens that I thought I had broken, and so I had just finished watching the episode, and that happened, and I didn't know how to process, so I just. You're
just like, fuck this show.
I
fucking hate it.
I think Adults adults. Guys, I don't think you should put a bullet in the series. That's a bit aggressive. I know that now. I just want to say
this is a safe space. This is a safe place.
And everybody there over at Adult Swim who are writing this show, you guys did a good enough job as you could have done given the circumstances. I do feel like some of these episodes were edited on the fly to cut the shortcomings of the voice actors' limitations, but I do think that once the kinks are worked out, I'm gonna give it another season. I just wish that Dan Harmon would just have said, hey, we're gonna be like Futurama,
Futurama would have been a better one-to-one.
That would have been perfect instead of Simpsons. I don't want this to be.
Well, it wasn't Dan Harmon. It was a writer for the show.
Oh, really?
A producer. It was a producer. It was a producer for the show.
Oh, okay.
But
actually, I've always loved The Simpsons.
But the Simpsons are Futurama. Futurama is the Simpsons.
But we're getting like
12
to 18 episodes every Simpsons season, though.
Simpsons is a weird comparison, just because like in the way that Rick and Morty
that is
they
insane
talked about in
this
episode, like that show. If you ask most Americans, that's a show that's outlasted its welcome. Whereas like they probably should have stopped that show.
And it's outlasted its welcome because it's the template for what you do. And when you still are able to do that, that's what's important, in my opinion. Like, as sad as it sounds, The Simpsons are one of the edgiest comedies on television still right now, including the ones we've talked about here today, which is Archer and Futurama, and this one that we're talking about here today.
And guys, if you want to check out my top 10 adult cartoon shows, I have a top 10 list on the Drunk Banthas YouTube channel if you guys want to see what my favorite adult cartoons are. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up because we've already been talking for almost 3 hours.
This is a late night. This is the best late night YouTube channel.
I think we kind of like lost like a lot of people.
literally like 2 minutes ago, dude. Like 2 minutes ago. But that's why we stay up for y'all real ones. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody who's watched, including those who just dropped off.
That's it for today's episode. Before we get out of here, though, tell the people where they can find you. Film Age, this is your first time on here, first time, long time. tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs.
You can follow me on Film Age Studios at any and all socials. Every Friday I post for the Mutant Fam, which is the Last Drive-In account, the Mutant Menu. I pair Dish with a Last Drive-In episode with Joe Bob Briggs, and they're usually pretty delicious. Other than that, that's it. Follow me for other series news that's coming shortly.
Yeah, I'm interested now.
Goddamn motherfucking Instagram. Obviously, Twitter. We said
Twitter,
it.
Instagram,
I
Twitter.
know you haven't been posting much on YouTube. I feel like you got something in production. Do you have any more words to say about what you have in production? The outfit that you had something on.
So I'm working on a new series. I was actually approached by my uncle and a friend of his. She had this concept, and they were wondering if there's anything there, and I saw it and I was like, this is great. And I'm like, all right, let's do you mind if I run with this for a little bit? For 2 weeks I wrote out an outline, wrote out characters, kind of gave a gist of about where I kind of want to go with the series, and they really loved it. And they ordered this prop that was very essential for the series. Ordered it from London in a box that I wasn't expecting it to come in. If I'm being honest with you, it looked.
We don't have a picture of the boss. Oh
no,
like
I can actually hold on.
They threw it over from London. They said I'm gonna throw it across the
reference
pond.
photos are killing me because it's like this is the gun I used to use when I was a prostitute.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We appreciate
the film god.
We're definitely going to put some links to your social media in the show, the video description, so you guys can go ahead and pick out all this dope shit.
So I'm trying to cover up all of it, but it came in a bag. And I paid $700 for this.
Oh shit!
And it's still in this, and I'm like, I feel uncomfortable holding it like it, but it's well worth it. And it was beautiful. I loved it, and I'm really excited to show everybody. So
yeah, absolutely.
But no, the reason why I haven't been posting on my YouTube channel is because I'm working on another channel, which is the title of the show, which I would say, but it would give pretty much everything away.
Scroll time. Scroll time.
Oh yeah.
You have some thoughts about Rebel Moon here.
God.
I can't wait. Dude. I haven't seen the movie yet.
We haven't seen it yet.
Check it out. I'm gonna watch it. Probably
this
week.
I was about to say because I gotta watch it regular style.
One of my friends.
Is it on Netflix yet or not?
No. It comes out
Thursday.
But my friend was like, "You want to go? You want to go check it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's check it out." And it was it was.
I mean, your initial quote. It says, "Dave Chappelle laugh. Is this your god?"
Is that what I said?
God. So it seems like you are coming after Snyder, Zack Snyder here. So okay, well, yeah, we'll.
That's like
we'll definitely be.
That's a top 10 Letterboxd review right there.
Because Zack Snyder.
And that's so rare. I never used the Lord's name in vain.
I'll die for you, Zack Snyder.
Before we get, 9, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, thank you for asking, my dear boy. You can find me on right here on 9 Nerd. What? No, Nerds at Night. Nerds at no one is literally no one right now is watching that Nerds at Night. It's all drunk banches. And also Twitch still. That is so fucking crazy. I will
shout out to Twitch. Shout out to you.
I haven't logged on to Twitch in like literally months, so that's so funny. But I'm going to keep on running these episodes for you.
For you. It's just for you. Just say something in the comments.
Literally, it's just for you.
Just say something.
But literally, you can find me at Nerds at Night. We be collaborating with the Drunk Banthas, and it's been a blast. I'm going to be picking up with a lot of other Nerds at Night content, doing a little bit of a shift just to help grow that channel. Here, hold on, I want a little bit of music. But there's a conspiracy out right now that says that 9 Nerd Yards is actually going to become one of the best fucking YouTube channels of 2024.
Oh, shit. I
So
believe that.
please put your tinfoil hats on. We will be going through the whole goddamn junket of YouTube fandom in conjunction with Nerds at Night, and of course that is in conjunction with the Drunk Banthas, and possibly another Film Age Studios collab. Shout out again to Film Age Studios for vibing with me on that.
Yeah, look. We just basically didn't tell y'all we accidentally started a black YouTube conglomerate. We're taking over the goddamn YouTubes. We're taking over. We did it on accident, but that's how it is. It's just like the NBA.
It was not accidental.
It's like
you see how nappy this hair is? That's how thick. That's how goddamn thick this is.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so excited to see like whatever you guys produce next. Like, I'm not sure if you guys know this. I was a huge fan of 9 Nerd Yards before we actually even met each other through the interwebs. So, guys, like, definitely check out all of his video analysis.
Sorry, YouTube, we're not going to take over anything. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Actually, do I?
They get a
one more little plug. One more little.
Oh yes, please. Absolutely.
I forgot to talk about this when we were doing Rick and Morty, the segment here. Because have you guys seen this video of the Denny's Grand Slam?
No, I have not.
Okay, so like a bunch of dudes from I have no idea where this Denny's is, but like punk rock dudes, they were able to do a show in a like abandoned Denny's, like the Denny's was closing down, and they were able to do a show there. This quote is fucking like right here. You can see the most replayed.
What's up? What the fuck's up, Denny's?
What the fuck's up, Denny's? That feels like one of the shows we did at Birmingham.
First of all, that's so different.
Like they were just
the only bad show that we played in Birmingham was a fashion show in Birmingham.
Birmingham. We didn't play the show that was the worst one.
No, I would never have done that. See, that's why you be conflating. That's conflation of stories. See, we didn't play that.
We didn't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about why you brought it up in the first place, because we shouldn't even be bringing that up. See, that ain't got nothing to do with this. We didn't play that show.
Lil probably knows what's up.
What the fuck is up?
What the fuck is up, Denny's? Where the fuck is my mozzarella sticks and mozzarella sticks in my pancakes? That's like the only kind of places you can get both of those things at the same time.
Oh my god, it's a wonderful place. It's a
magical place. I might go down there after this is over.
Who knows?
Hey, I mean, yeah, it's definitely open.
If you live in Los Angeles, find a Denny's and meet me.
You don't want people to DM you, but like they can meet you at a Denny's.
It's a safe place. It's a safe place. I know there's a hole there that has gotten rid of all of my.
There's a hole in the wall there.
My fear.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday live at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Please like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Oh, actually, that's not going to exist anymore for pretty soon. IG, Twitter, likewise, Letterboxd, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little XOs. And may the force be with you.
We will be back next Monday live. Come on.